the game started here. We got about 15 minutes worth.
KDBM.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
We can get started if you like.
All right, just a second.
No problem. And we're streaming, so I'm going to try to be as quiet in between as possible. I'll pull it out if you need me be in between. It's raining.
Yeah, I figured it would be. All right, now we'll transfer it over.
Thank you.
the game, and I think this year
where the Digger Dog is at it.
Yeah.
It's a great battle. It's a tie all the way around. This is a big determinant here on this game. 3-1 overall, 3-1 in conference, and was it 43-43 and
I
1?
think it's 49-49.
Right, 49-49 and 1, and you really got two teams that get it done offensively as well, and do a lot on the defensive side of thing as well. Who do you find is going to be the difference maker for the Tech or Diggers?
For Montana Tech, obviously their receiver, Dion Williams, he almost has all the records in Tech for receptions. He has the receptions in a season record, and he's 11 catches, 70 yards from the other two records. So obviously in the receiving game, he's a tough one to guard. It's really going to be, how's this quarterback going to play? We really haven't seen much. His first start last week against Northern played well. But Cole Hopman, redshirt freshman, number 6, we'll see what he can do on the offensive end and if he can get comfortable with this Western defense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and kind of brings a new element to the deal. He's more of a pocket passer from what I was reading, I believe. And also, what can you say about Jed Fike? I mean, he just gets it done. He turns out a little over 120 yards a game on the ground. He picks his holes very well. Just a good all-around player. But on the other side of the football, for the University of Montana Western, they're led by a tackling machine, Mr. Ferris, second in the conference in tackles, and he flies around from what we've seen as well.
Weapon X, he's so big, fast, and if this defensive line can eat up that O-line, then usually these linebackers have a pretty good game.
Yeah, well, and Joe's been awesome, really moving over to that defensive side of things. Also a guy, typically you just, when you move a guy from offense to defense, regardless if they played in high school, it takes him a little while to kind of snuff out. Not him.
No, he is go and get it type of person, and he does that. He eats. He's so fast. It's just he's making tackles in the backfield, and he's batting down passes throughout the game. So he can do whatever you need at that linebacker position.
And they've been lucky enough, too. The big guys up front really have kept them clean so they can fly around and make plays. It'll be great to see that. Western won the toss. They're going to defer, so they're going to take the ball in the second half. So we're going to see that defense right away on the field here for the University of Montana Western. And Mark Karchenko's done a fantastic job at this kicking game.
Yeah, he's been a weapon in the kicking. He's consistent with field goals, and we'll see with a little bit of drizzle today. Nice fall day here in Montana, a little chilly. We'll see if he can kick a few in if he gets the chance.
Looks like they have Dion Williams back deep. And I can barely tell. The Orediggers are wearing what is white at this current time. I don't think we'll see too much white as the day goes on. He picks it up at about the 3, goes around the right side, finds it right up the middle, and then just gets dropped at about the 25-yard line. I didn't see who put the stick on it, but it was a nice one.
Like
I think it was Christian, was it not?
Yeah, I didn't see either. There's a little bit of laundry on the field. That's what I was looking at.
It looked like the hold was on the right side of that. Let's see what the call is on that. Western is dressed rather nice today. What do you think about those unis?
I'm a big fan of the black and red. If you don't love the blackout games, then that's Western for you. And they got the gray pants, which they're just debuting this season,
and it's a dark gray.
Yeah, dark gray with a black and red stripe down the side.
And then the black tops, the red lettering, and the white outline. And they'll come out with shotgun formation. It looks like Tanner Kumps at the quarterback position. Is that not number 7?
That is number 7.
So Tanner Kump is actually going to have it. Going into motion will be number 18. And they're going to go right out to him off the left side. It's got a little bit of room. Finally wrapped up and dropped out here at about where they would have got the football, about the 25, 26-yard line. And, of course, on offense, I don't even see a number 18 on there, so we'll have to go to the other.
Trevor Hoffman, 6'4", 205-pound freshman redshirt out of Washington.
Trevor Hoffman, he's a Hall of Fame closer for the Padres. But in this case, he's a freshman wide receiver. Great job, good penetration, snuffed out nicely. And, boy, they read that quickly.
And Jed Fike, it's tough to stop him before he gets to the line of scrimmage. He's that fast, and somehow Western able to do it here earlier in the quarter.
But not only do the linebackers fly around, so does the safeties, and he made the play on that one. So we're going to go, tight end's going to move in close. They have one on the outside. Looks like they're going to look back for another play, but the tight end and the fullback lined up on the left side of the offense. Shotgun formation. Fike is the lone set back, dropping out the pack. It got knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
And that looks like Wyatt Laxo, number 90, senior out of Bozeman, Montana.
That's just what you wanted to see out of this defense. It's going to be 3rd and 11 from the 24-yard line. So big 3rd and 11 for Tech right away out of the gate. And this defense has really done a great job of penetration right now. I mean, they're really getting up the field. And they're running an odd kind of blitzing from the back. They're running actually a 3-5, I guess you'd probably call it. But the middle linebacker is doing the blitzing on it. And it kind of set up a little bit of a pause. And he almost went down, finally falls. The credit to the sack looks like number 97.
97, and I think Jason Ferris was in there on a touch as well. So they're probably going to share that sack. Denzel Moe and Jason Ferris.
And they're just not accounting for the bodies that are coming in on the blitz at that point.
No.
And so it's going to be a 4th and 15 as Tech is going to punt from their own 20-yard line. And they got the two amigos in the back here, either one of them. And it's a good high arcing punt, but neither one of these guys are much for a fair catch. And he's dropped right at the spot about the 35-yard line. And it was a good tackle by the Tech special teams. 0-0 with 13:18 left here on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard in the first. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Can't do that. And it looked like it was intended for Meserly. Meserly got away with what looked like kind of a shove down in the secondary there, but it's going to be a 2nd and 10 as they go out guns a-blazing. So they're going to line up one on the outside, one on the slot. The lone setback looks like, I believe it to be Pranty anyway. And so John in the shotgun, or the K-gun, I believe is as I call it. And this give is the Pranty. He gets it out to probably about the 38-yard line. Maybe good for about 3 or 4. That'll bring up a 3rd and, we'll call it probably 6. We'll go 6. We'll give them 4 on the carry. 3rd and 6 from their own 39. And so we have a tight formation, actually, one to the left, one to the right. 2 tight ends, it looks like one on each end. One of them definitely probably a fullback. John back to pass, gets batted down at the line of scrimmage, and looks like they're going to have to kick his way. He had the open man. It looks like he was looking for Colby Tamel.
Yeah, Arthur Flynn, number 97 from Montana Tech, comes in 6'3", and he used that height to get a bat down on the defensive line.
Kurchenko was like 2nd in field goals, 3rd in punting, and kicked a 51-yarder in front of our very eyes.
Yeah, and he had some pretty clutch kicks against EOU as well. There late in the game, overtime kicks. That's a lot of pressure for a kicker.
I think he's already been, twice special teams player of the...
Yeah.
And good kick here. It's going to be an end over end. Takes a nice bulldog bounce and picked up and gets some yards on the way back. I mean, you got 2 crazy punt returners at this point. We'll make it 3. And we might just get one broke here.
Yeah, you could see a little speed on that return. I thought maybe he was going to make the corner there, but he just ran out of bounds.
Well, he picked it up totally as a shortstop. So we're all knotted up at 0 here, 12:28 in the first quarter on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. Both offenses kind of flamed out a little bit. Looks like there's already going to be a timeout, so we'll take one too. 12:28 left here in the first quarter on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. 0-0. We'll be back in 1 minute. back to live action here from Vigilante Stadium. Bulldog defense back out there once again. My curiosity at this point is which defensive side of things is going to make the big play, I think, at this point. Give is a fake to Fike and then kind of a bubble screen. Got a good head of steam, and he's going to be close to a Tech first down. I believe that was Dion Williams, the 6'1", 190-pound senior. And it looks like he did fall forward enough for a Montana Tech first down. They have the ball at the 35-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 Orediggers. They're running 2 to the right. Tight ends over the left side of the formation. And the give is to Fike. He's going to take it up the middle. And just tough to get him down. Just keeps running, keeps tough sledding.
Yeah, he's a workhorse. He's leading the conference in rushing for a reason, second in touchdowns. And it's because he runs the ball with a purpose, and you can see that. He's like a Tasmanian devil or something when he gets it. He just wants yards.
And it's 2nd and 5. Kump comes up to the line, resets it. They're going to run trips to the left, one to the right. Fike to the left side of Kump on the strike. And the give once again is to Fike. This time he's going to go to the outside. And that's something that you don't necessarily want to do there because these linebackers fly around a little too much.
Yeah, you could see, I think that was Riley Martello coming out the linebacker position and just kept him right at the line of scrimmage and chased him right down the line, made the tackle.
So it's going to be a big 3rd and 5 for Montana Tech. They're going to run 3 to the left. The tight end's over the right side of the formation. And Fike's to the right side of the quarterback Kump. They're going to switch the lineup here, or switch the play up as they look to the sideline. Both teams coached really well. So trips to the left. It looks like the blitz is coming. And it's a quick strike to Dion Williams, but he's wrapped up and tackled, I believe, by Ferris quickly. And that's going to bring up a 4th down play for Montana Tech.
Right on the catch. He gets tackled, but he's a tough one to stop with those quick passes. He's so quick and great hands. Hasn't had a drop today.
Actually, was that not 23 who made the play for Montana Tech? Coming out of that safety position. Or I mean for Western. So that would have been Kyle Schulte, the other linebacker. And it's punt. Looks like,
Trey Mounts with the catch. Almost let it hit the ground.
Well, and crazy enough, not only is it a good catch, but Tech's got a good cover team. And so we're still knotted up 0-0 with 10:07 left. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And being the Frontier Conference game of the week, we have a few TV timeouts. We got another one here, but we'll keep it right here with you. So far it's kind of the bend, and nothing's going to break at this point. We're going to see the second offensive series here for the University of Montana Western. They came out with that first play kind of going deep. Didn't look like he had a real good toss on it. We both know he's got a lot better arm than that. Slick ball probably has a little something to do with it.
You would assume that it's muddy out there already on the sidelines. You can see it's going to be a little wet. Not easy to pass the ball around. You can see Tech, they're getting success on these short little dink and dump type plays, and those are a lot easier to make in wet conditions rather than the long ball.
Well, it looked like we had a little bit of room there when we were running the ball up the middle. We'll see if that happens again as well. But we got a heck of a receiving core. In fact, Nate Simpkins is about 4th or something like that,
Yeah.
I believe, in yards in the conference. So I'd like to see a little bit more Nate Simpkins. This time they're going to run 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And John runs actually pretty well. It's just most of the time he does such a good job sitting in that pocket. You know, I like quarterback that's mobile, but yet is always looking up the field as well. And they just have the one deep safety. They're mostly running, really, and he steps back out. The other one is kind of actually sifted into as almost a linebacker. John's going to throw a nice dump off, but a nice tackle. Nice form tackle. That was number 23 for Montana Tech on the defensive side of things.
Jake Orvis, 6'1" redshirt freshman out of Billings Senior High School. And you see a lot of talented freshmen on this Tech team, so they're recruiting. I mean, you can see good coaching, and this team has it.
So trips to the left, one to the right. Looks like Pranty is the lone setback. They faked him. They get it to the outside. It looked like Walker McKittrick, I believe. And then good tackling by Tech and maybe got a yard or two. So it's going to bring up a third and probably about 4. So far, so good on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, this Montana Tech defense is on top of things. Connor Wines, number 47, being one of those leaders at the linebacker position. 5.5 tackles a game for him.
So we got trips to the right, one to the left. And we're in about a 3rd and 3 from what looks about the 26-yard line. Jund alone in shotgun. So trips to the right, 2 to the left. Open up the field. And it's going to be a quick pass, almost picked off on the tip, and it's going to be incomplete. And the Bulldogs are going to punt it back.
And
yeah, with these incompletes and running, I mean, we're only 8:47 left still in the first, and kind of nowhere is either offense going.
yeah, I think we've seen 2 first downs and got lucky there. That could have been a pretty crucial turnover on the 30-yard line. Put Tech in good field position, but got lucky. Now they're going to punt it back to the other 30.
I got to believe it's pretty slippery out there for everyone to really just be doing quick slants and crossing routes.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of moves with the ball.
And he saved himself there, but the kick is going to be down, and then boom.
Big hit.
That was a big stick. Number 9.
It's like number 9, Phoenix Ruffin, 5'6" running back, but in this case, he's coming on the defensive end. Special teams just trying to make a play anywhere he can on the field.
I believe that to be anyway. Devin Christian's been down there quite a bit as well. Looks like Ruffin's getting all the love on the side. Yep, okay. Didn't want to give the wrong credit because it was a big hit. And stayed in his lane, did what he was taught, did a great job. So kind of tight formation once again for Tech. They're going to give it to Fike. Good job by the defensive line, really not giving any ground there. And then the plays made by the defensive line.
And you could just see the experience with this linebacker core. Riley Martello came around the edge there, and, you know, if you let Fike outside and give him room, he's going to eat up yards. And Martello did a great job of getting him to the inside to his lineman.
And then Arnett came from the left side to get the tackle on the right side, just to give an idea of doing your job. Roll out to the right, goes a little bit high, and then forced out of bounds was Hoffman and didn't make the catch. So it's going to be incomplete, and here we are at another 3rd and 9 already. So the nickel defense is going to come in for the Western Bulldogs. University of Montana Western actually has got a pretty good blitz game going right now too. And can't really tell where they're bringing it from. They've even kind of faked the blitz and then stepped back. And so we'll see how they're going to do on the blitz. They bring it from the left side, and the pass is going to be really, you couldn't get too much better coverage. Great catch out there by number 8.
Right on the sideline, gets his toes in and makes the catch. Number 8.
Jet Campbell, the wide receiver.
And you can already see that mud starting to make an appearance on these white jerseys there on Jet Campbell after that catch.
Out of Billings Central. Played here a time or two before. And dropping back to pass. He's going to throw an out. Wide open was the tight end. Gives a spin move all the way down.
Big hit.
Dang, big hit. He got pretty close, depending on the spot, to another Tech first down.
And number 86, Nate Sander, he moves pretty good for a big guy.
They're bringing out all the stops. They kind of gave us a Tech offensive sheet, and none of them are on it because they're going to everyone else. So dropping back to pass. Looks like they can't really get their traction. Even Pike kind of slipping out of the gate, but he's going to get enough for Montana Tech first down. But you saw the pulling guard get out of there, and he was kind of like a diesel in mud, just spinning those wheels.
Yeah, and I think that looks like it's going to have an effect on Fike. He has such quick feet, you know. When you're making moves like that, especially cuts that are so quick, it's hard on mud, especially to switch direction.
Laundry on the field. Sounded like it was a hold. That'll bring Tech all the way back, and it's going to be 2nd down, and I'll give the ball at about the 40. So it's going to be a 2nd and 5. So 2nd and 5, they're going to run trips to the right, 2 to the left, empty backfield on the 2nd and 5.
And now we have Cole Hopman in at quarterback, so making a little switch up from Tanner Kump.
Hopman takes snap, and he's going to keep it and go right up the middle. Finds a little bit of room, and he gets all the way past the 30 to about the 27-yard line. It's going to be good for another Tech first down. I don't see any laundry on the field.
And Hopman, 67 yards in his debut starting game running the ball. So he was a pocket passer, but showing off a little bit of speed right there.
Well, and that's definitely a new element. I mean, Tanner Kump's more of a drop-back passer, and when you have two talented freshmen, you got to kind of see who's going to play. And they give the ball good penetration, but he still is able to get about a yard. It looks like they read that so nicely, but just kind of spun and dropped and still was able to get, about a yard? I thought they had him behind the line of scrimmage,
Yeah,
but somehow
I did too.
fought himself forward and fell forward for a good yard. So it's going to be a 2nd and 9 from the 27-yard line.
And Kump coming back out. So, maybe that'll be an indication for the defense, whether they're going to play run or pass.
Tight ends lined up to the left side of the formation. Dropping back to pass. He's going to throw it out to the right side, out to Dion Williams. And he's going to pick up probably a good 4 yards looking on the spot. So it's going to be a 3rd and a manageable. Let's wait till the spot gets there. About 3. Looks like about a 3rd and 3. And my guess is with kind of slippery field, you go for it from that spot. Depends on how much confidence you have in your kicker, Tyler Padilla. So trips to the right. Fight the lone setback. He's going to get the football. He keeps going, a couple spin moves, but that defense is right there. And a couple of linebackers filled so nicely, led by number 33, Jason Ferris. I think he's going to be short, though, looking at where they spotted the ball. Ooh, false start. Nope, I didn't think I saw a flag on the play.
Oh.
So I'm doing the old.
And it looks like they are going to go for it here on 4th down.
So 4th and 3, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Fike is the lone setback. Kump in at quarterback. And I believe the offense moved. They're both pointing each direction. We'll see what they came up with. Oh, and they called it encroachment. So that's going to be a first down for Tech. That'll bring the ball to. Did he say across the neutral zone? It kind of said.
Yeah, it must have been. I didn't see the.
It looked like the guy on the left side moved, but obviously they have a lot better view than we do. They have a great view, but they have the first up 3D. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 now, Tech, from about the 16-yard line. So Tech on the move. Goes from a 4th and 4, and they put a man in motion, and that's going to be a keeper by Hopman, but it's snuffed out and a nice tackle.
And Hopman looks like he should have had room on the outside. Faked the handoff, coming out to the right, and Riley Martello, the linebacker.
Snuffed that out, shucked the blocker, and then just textbook tackle. Dropped from the waist, wrapped up the legs. Or is that the Bulldogger tackle, right?
Yeah, the Bulldogger.
So we're going to go 2 to the right, 2 to the left. 2nd and 11 from the 17 for Montana Tech. They look to the sideline for a new play. He steps up to the line to redo the coverage. Bulldogs pretty spread out as they're set up in a 3-4. No one blitzing as they're just using their 3. Everyone drops back, gets it into the end zone, and then a nice tackle as he was juggling it. Trevor Hoffman was the intended receiver. And then a great job in coverage as he gets ripped down as he's trying to make the play, and it goes incomplete, bringing up a 3rd and 11 for the Orediggers. Looks like they're going to bring in that nickel protection. That was one of the first times in 2nd and long that we didn't bring a blitz.
Yeah, and it was almost dangerous for us right there. Given this quarterback time, you can see that he can put the ball right where he needs to. It hit him in the hands.
Well, and it looked like a zone because it was a soft zone on the right side, and he just dropped it in there. It looked like something that should have been probably caught. They go across the middle. It's read out nice and then gang tackled probably at about the 15. I mean, he may have got 2-3 yards on it. So it's going to bring a big fourth down for Montana Tech. We'll call it fourth and I'm going to say 7 from the 15.
And it looks like they're bringing out the field goal kicker. See if he can knock one down.
Maybe even 4th and 8, a little more than 7. Well, not quite 8, but we'll call it 4th and 8 from the 15. And it's up, and it looks good, and it is. So Montana Tech strikes first on kind of a sloppy possession between penalties and everything else. So Montana Tech leads 3-0. 3:02 left in the first quarter on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Let's talk about your drinking water. You want the great taste of bottled water, but going to the store is such a hassle. Call Culligan Water. Culligan bottled water is fresh and delicious and delivered to your home or office. Call Culligan Water at 406-782-2400. That's 406-782-2400 for better water, pure and simple. Are you ready for some football? Stage Line Pizza is ready to get you ready with nightly pizza specials, breadsticks, wings, chuck wagons, and delicious pasta bakes. Stage Line can deliver on game day or night. Call Stage Line Pizza today and get ready for some football. Stage Line Pizza, 683-9.
10 seconds.
Delivery starts daily at 11 a.m.
Oh, we got a
Get ready
game.
for some
And the Red
football
River
at Stage Line
Shootout.
Pizza, 683-9004.
And welcome back to live football action here from the Vidge. University of Montana Western on the ropes now, a little bit. Just a field goal. Bend, don't break, basically. Gave up that fourth down. Otherwise, I think they would have been in great shape on that fourth down penalty. But they'll get the football back. I'd like to see a little bit more movement. I think we should go back to running the football. We'll see if that happens. It's going to be taken about the 4 by Christian. Devin Christian on the left side, or the right side. Finally forced out of bounds at about the 27. I do see some laundry on the field. Looked like there was a block in the back, probably about the 12. So we'll see where that puts it. But I think we're going to be backed up to close to our own goalpost. And so it's going to be Bulldogs taking over. It seemed like, yeah, we came out passing, and I know that's what we do. But it looked like there's a little bit of room in the running game that might be able to work that out. Be interesting to see, especially with the tough sledding out there. It looks pretty slick.
Yeah, I think you got to try to get some confidence gain for this quarterback, John Junn, and get some completions. And I don't know if throwing the ball down the field right now is what we need to do, but we'll see.
Like I said, I mean, he's definitely capable, but at this point it looks like it's tougher to plant the receivers to get really in rhythm. You're used to a certain cadence, 1, 2, 3, go, but you're not getting to the same spot because you're slippery, it's wet, and they're going to put a man in motion, and they're going to give it on an end around. Kind of good play, takes a little bit of a smack, finally gets dropped, but it looks like he's going to get about a good 6-yard gain on the run.
Looks like number 5, I think Trey Mounts out of Belgrade, using that speed, a return man, so you know he has
actually got
breakaway
8
speed.
out of it, so we're looking at a 2nd and 2. I like it, though. At least it kind of sets them back on their heels a little bit. Trey Mounts is in the slot once again. Looks like Pranty's going to be your setback with John. They're running 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And maybe movement up front. Yep, false start. So far the penalties aren't helping us on either side of the football.
No, in a game like this that you know it's going to be such a grind on the defensive end. You can't be shooting yourself in the foot, as they say.
And so that's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 as they come up to the line. They're going to be the same formation, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Pranty is the setback to the left side of John. John takes the snap in the shotgun. And he's going to throw it across the middle, knocked down, I think, by the big beefeater in the middle.
It's like number 97, Arthur Flynn. He's already been in on a few plays.
And their sack guy is Brock Beatty. I don't see him in. I think he wears 45 is what I'm trying to look for. The 6'5 senior.
And it's so tough to stay healthy in this conference. You know, you have
Beat up all
night
the
in, night
time.
out. You have difficult games and physical teams.
So trips to the right. Big third down here for the University of Montana Western. A 3rd and 7 from their own 13. He's going to put the ball up, and it's going to be picked off. And he's going to drop it at about the 40. And looked like he wanted to.
And there is flags down in the backfield. And it looked like he was getting pressure, wanted to go over the shoulder.
And the holding's going to be on Western. It looked like he wanted to kind of get the pass interference, but it would have been a tough call too. They were kind of both going back and forth.
And Jun just really doesn't have enough time here in the pocket to figure out where he needs to throw it. He's just kind of 3-step drop, get rid of the ball so he doesn't get hit.
And we haven't seen Blake Setman. I'm not sure if he's injured or not, but he became a pretty decent weapon for us. Going out on that play was number 89, which is Boyd Jenny, the tight end, who had a pretty good game last time here at home. And so back on defense, Tech with good positioning, and they're going to bring the blitz. And they kind of had a decent screen set up, but he throws it away from Fike as Fike was turning one way. The ball went the other way. And so it's going to be incomplete, a 2nd and 10 from the Bulldog 40.
Number 23, Kyle Schulte, the linebacker, coming through the line, giving the quarterback a little bit of pressure. And
Schulte's having a pretty good game already as he's getting pretty good pressure. They're running a 3-4 with the blitzing linebacker almost every time.
Looks like Tech has another different quarterback in. This looks like number 8, Jet Campbell, playing quarterback right now.
The Billing Central star. And he throws it out to the outside and comes up way short as he was going for a bubble screen to Will Hunthausen, 6'2", 190-pound sophomore. It looks like they have a ton of seniors on defense, but on offense, they're pretty young.
Yeah, you see a lot of similarities within these two teams. You know, they both have really strong defenses, young offenses. Their O-lines are, you know, probably not their strongest part on the field.
Big 3rd and 10. They're going to stack the receivers, trips to the right. They're going to bring Fike up the middle, and he spins and keeping those legs churning. I think he's going to be just short, but probably going to go for it on 4th down here. Kind of in no man's land. It's going to be a 4th and 2. I'm going to call it 4th and 2 from the 32. So for them, everything in the playbook's open to you at 4th and 2. Play action, you can run the ball up the middle, a bootleg, a slant, and just about anything you think of.
Yeah, Fike, it probably should be 4th and 5, but the way Fike runs the ball, I mean, it's hard not to give it to him on 4th and short situations.
Kind of ran that spin move right out of the gate and just spin his way in between. And it looks like it's going to be a TV timeout. So with 1:11 left on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard, Tech leads 3-0. It's going to be 4th and 2 when we return. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Fans
It looks like Pike off the right side. And I think they stopped him. Yeah, didn't get across the 30. So it's going to be a nice stop here by that Montana Western defense.
And when you talk to any of these players on the defense, they will all say, I'm never afraid of the run. And that's because they have such quick linebackers and a good defensive line, and they proved it right there. Able to get the stop on 4th and short with an electric running back.
Well, and as I see Blake Sentman, he comes right back out. So trips to the right, one to the left. It does look like Pranty is the lone setback. Haven't seen enough of Pranty, in my opinion. I want to see a little bit more of him. And he does a really good job of blocking as well. They finally put it right where he needed to go. And coming up empty is that number 9?
Trey Mounts, I think, is who they were looking for.
Oh, it was 5?
Yeah, number 5. And, yeah, finally had a nice little connection between the receiver. Not able to make the catch. Good defense from number 13, Justin May.
Yeah, because the ball was put where it was supposed to. I think he got his hand just in at the very end. Kind of knocked it away to make it 2nd and 10. It's amazing how long this first quarter's taken. That's how many incomplete passes. And there we go with the running game. Off the left side, just kind of a straight ahead. It looked like a one cut and up the field.
Yeah.
Did a great job of really putting his foot into the dirt, mud in this case. I think he got a good 5 or 6 yards out of it.
And I agree with you right now. I think, you got Pranny a good 3 down back, and he's just so consistent. You're going to take care of the ball by giving it to him.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 3 for the Bulldogs. Need a first down badly.
Ball's
and
down.
They lost the football, and I think Montana Tech came up with it. So Tech's already got their 2nd turnover, and it was all on the exchange. I mean, they're celebrating because they got the football, but that was definitely a Bulldog mistake. And so it'll be a turnover on the fumble. 28 seconds left. 3-0 Tech leads. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Oh,
Meet your whole family's vision needs at Vision Source, providing choices to meet your family's demanding lifestyle in one convenient location. Experience the
All the way down to about the 5 or 6 yard line, depending on where he stepped out. And it looked like it was number 10 on the reception, which would be Danny Peoples, the original starting quarterback, if it's number 10. But there is a flag on the field.
And it's going to be holding.
That's good news for the Bulldogs because they got burned on that play.
Yeah.
And like I said, Jet Campbell was in there at quarterback.
And Jet Campbell, he actually, you can see it's slick, though. I was watching him in the pocket right there, and he tries to step up and throw, and that back foot just slips out from under you, so not much traction.
And he's listed as a wide receiver, so they're ready to play anyone at the quarterback spot at this point.
But he can throw a nice ball.
Yeah,
that
it was
a
a
nice looking throw.
Nice toss. So they're going 2 to the left, 2 to the right, drops back to pass, and goes nice pass once again, gets to about the 40-yard line before Dion Williams is forced out of bounds. So gets a little bit of it back. Looks like a pretty confident passer in the pocket, actually.
No kidding. That was a bullet right there.
So it's going to be about a 2nd and 12 from the 40. We got another TV timeout. So, that's in the quarter. My bad. So, 1 quarter under wraps here at Vigilante. Montana Tech leads 3-0. We'll be back in 1 minute.
At the Bank of Commerce, we pride ourselves.
Welcome back to live action as we switch sides. wind doesn't really look like it's a factor, though, at this point.
No, just that traction and maybe the ball's a little wet when you're trying to make catches. But, yeah, it's actually not raining right now. It's just damp you can see from yesterday and the night.
Well, and with the exception of that holding on that huge pass play, we're the ones that are making the mistakes in crucial moments at this point. We need to clean that up a little bit, have a pick and a fumble.
Big
hit. I think that was a lateral, right? I mean, realistically.
Zach Janice, they just try to do a little wide receiver screen, catch the snap, and throw it right down the line. And Janice is right there when it hits the receiver's hands, and big hit knocks the ball out.
Huge hit. We just totally buried him. So it's going to be a 3rd and about 12 from the 40-yard line. So the ore diggers are kind of in that no man's land. You wonder if they're probably going to go for it at the 40. Their defense has been pretty salty. They've caused a fumble and a turnover. So roll back. Campbell's going to throw it down the middle. He has a receiver, but he threw it over the wrong shoulder, I guess would be the best way to put it. I think the receiver is looking to turn it in and go straight down the middle, and then he kind of threw it back shoulder, not looking for it.
It looks like they actually had Cole Hoffman in at quarterback that time.
Sorry,
so
Cole Hoffman.
They're just switching it up. You can barely keep up with it. But it looks like all 3 quarterbacks have thrown the ball, too, though.
Hoffman and Campbell. And they are going to punt. They're going for the coffin corner. And it looks like this probably should make it in. No,
nice
get
punt.
enough backspin. And he puts it right at about the 6. So gained about 34 yards. I mean, that's what you want done right there. So 3-0 Tech leads. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And welcome back to live action, backed up with the shadow of their own goalpost. 2 to the right. The give here is to Pranty. He's off the left side, bounces out a little bit. It looks like he's across the 10, so maybe a yard on the pickup. Oh, no, he is across 10, so about 2 yards, I guess, would be the best way to look at it, just across the 10. So it's going to be a 2nd and about 8 to go. So 2nd and 8, they're going to run 2 to the right. Tight ends over the left side of the formation. One running back, it looks to be Pranty once again. He'll pull up, get a block. John looking for a pass. He's got a man
Great
open.
Throw.
And it was a beautiful throw. I think it was McKittrick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're correct there. McKittrick, he's been having a great season from the wide receiver position. Looked like a little corner out there. Catches it right before he goes out of bounds, just over the shoulder, and the coverage is right there.
And you said it bad. I mean, he put it right where only his guy could get it. Gave him enough room to put it out in front so he could run with it. And if he wasn't so close to the sideline, he got forced out. But just what the doctor ordered there, all the way out to the 37, 1st and 10 Bulldogs. Fakes the handoff to Pranty, steps back to pass, rolls out to the left side, puts it only where his guy can get it down the left side, and it looks like he's going to hook up with McKittrick again. So this time, almost same play, but to the left side. McKittrick going to take just a little bit of a breather. That'll bring in Jake Messerly, and chiming on all cylinders there.
Yeah, and, that time coming right across the middle. Another great throw from John. So if you give him time, he can deliver some shots.
So we're into Tech territory. We're on the 36-yard line. We got 2 to the left, tight end lined up the left side of the formation. Pranty is your lone setback. Give us to Pranty. He's going to go up the middle. Gets hit right there, but just keeps churning out to the right side, bounces it out across the 30-yard line. And that's what I love about him as a back. He gets that initial contact, just slides out and keeps those legs churning. Here we are. I mean, got a big play out of him, probably a good 6-yard gain. And the contact was behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and just think what that does for your passing game. It tires this defense out a little bit more. This defensive line has been giving you problems all day, and the running game is so crucial for us right now.
2 to the right, tight end lined up the left side of the formation. Lone setback looks to be Pranty once again. Jund in the K-gun. And he's going to keep it himself down the left side. Gets a couple of blocks, but gets wrapped up and dropped. Nick Amistoy was the first in on that. And then helping to clean it up was number 47, which would be Connor Wines. Pretty easy to call his name. When in doubt, just say Connor Wines. Kind of like on our side, when in doubt, say Ferris.
Yeah, and Wines already got a fumble recovery. He's got a forced fumble on the season.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Pranthy's lone setback lined up to the left side. Looks like they're bringing the blitz. He'll drop back. Bubble screen perfectly placed to Meserly, and a great tackle by number 13, Justin May. But I think it's going to be enough for a Montana Western first down. That was well put together. They had a blitz coming. He threw it to the side. Good read by him. Looked to the right, kept the eyes there, and then comes back to the left where the play was set up. Let that blitz kind of get to him. Took a little bit of a smack there at the end, but that's what you want your quarterback to do in that spot. They're going to run trips to the right, one to the left, one lone setback to the left side. Jund's dropping back to pass, and he's going to go left side. It's got Meserly, and it looked like he put it in his hands.
He put it in his hands, and Meserly, you know he likes the long ball. He used that speed, and they just try to get him over the top in the corner right there, and you said it right there. Hit him in the hands. He barely got around the receiver. Great throw from Jund.
So McKittrick right back in. I look for him to see the football right away. They look like they had a great connection going so far. So McKittrick back in. He's lined up to the left side with the tight end on the left side of the formation. Pranthy to the left side also of the quarterback. 2 to the right. The give is to Pranthy. Goes up the middle. Keeps the legs churning. Gets across the 20. Probably good for about 4 yards. So we'll bring up a 3rd and 6. About a 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Definitely probably on 4-down territory, but then again, you know, your kicker is a weapon. And I don't think the elements really affect him too much either.
No, not yet anyways. It's not raining hard enough.
It looks like they're bringing a blitz on the right side, and they fill that hole. Oh, and it's picked off once again. And a good job of just dropping back into coverage is Demery Morris. And they had it set up okay, but then Demery Morris just drops back and picks it off. And so Western with their 3rd turnover, and they give it right back to Tech. Tech leads 3-0 on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And the handoff to Pike. He goes up the middle, finds a little bit of room, keeps churning past the 30 to maybe about the 31. So Montana Tech gets the ball back. 2 picks and a fumble.
Yeah, and turnover's a problem right now for Western, and he's been getting pressure. You have to think that is attributed to, you know, making your quarterback uncomfortable.
It looks like we got Jet Campbell at the cue again. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Fike is your lone setback. Tight end lined up to the left side. And so he'll give it to Fike. Fike over the right side. Finally dropped what appears to be close to another Montana Tech first down, and it is. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Tech as they have the ball at the 35-yard line of their own, I should say, their own 35. So 1st and 10. They have 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Lone setback is Fike. Campbell puts guy in motion and gives it off to the receiver. He's getting around the right outside and then finally dropped about 39, but looked like he kept going. Didn't hear a whistle, so obviously it's still good. He would have been good for a first down if he didn't step out of bounds. We'll see where they actually measure the ball out.
It looks like they're going to give him the first, so a bit of an odd play there. Thought there was a whistle. You couldn't see very well from our angle, but kind of stopped for a second, slowed down, and then got another burst of 5 yards.
Looked like got about 14 on the play out here to the 49. So So it's going to be 1st and 10 Tech from their own 49-yard line. And he's going to fake the handoff, rolls out to the right, and finally lets it go. And out of bounds is going to be incomplete as he was juggling it on the way out. Good call by the officials. And Campbell lifts his back foot when he throws, so it's kind of a weird delivery.
I noticed that as well, and I didn't know if it was because of the slick or what exactly it was, but he's delivered some pretty nice throws. I would say Campbell is definitely their best throwing quarterback to this point.
Cole Hopman checks in. It's going to be a 2nd and 10 from the 49. Tech's 49. They're going to run 2 to the right, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. And it's going to be a bubble screen out to Fike. He's got a little bit of room to go and kind of slides out as feet go out from under him. And he had a lot of real estate. Ferris is going to get the tackle on it, but really it just turned out it was a little too slick.
Yeah, you can see what that field's doing right now with these people, they're tearing it up in the cleats, and both of them, the tackler and the runner, just fell down.
Big 3rd and 9 from the 50 for Montana Tech. Cole Hopman in at the quarterback position. They're going to run it tight, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Fike is your lone setback, lined up to the left side of this quarterback. And they're bringing the heat from the outside, and it's going to be down the right side of the line. Good coverage. I don't see any flags on the play, but good outside coverage by the cornerback.
Kyron Allen.
Kyron Allen's done a great job for us as a 6'3", 170-pound senior.
And you can see that height, that 6'3", and I think his arms are longer than a 6'3", because he uses that, and if he's in good position, he's going to use those long arms to get the ball.
So right back to the punt team. And it's a high snap, but he's able to get it. Christian up to receive it. He's going to run it down. He'll pick it up right at about the 10-yard line. So the Bulldogs trail 3-0 with 7:59 left. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Would you like to shorten your mortgage loan repayment term by months?
Well, you got to be happy. I mean, you've thrown 2 picks. You've fumbled the football. It's been on your side of the field most of the time. I mean, here we are taking it again from the 10, probably about the 11. We'll call it the 11. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 11. We've, like I said, fumbled twice. We've fumbled once, picked twice, had 2 big penalties, turned around some decent plays, but yet we're only down 3-0. 7:50 left to go to the half, and we get the ball in the second half. So things are still looking pretty good, but yet hopefully we got all those out of the way, the little mistakes that we've made, and we can start working our way back on this offensive series. I like the promise in the running game, but like you had said, the passing game looked like it was starting to come around. Good connection with McKittrick. We'll see if he finds him here. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. The give is to Pranty. He's going to bounce it around up the middle. Tech was ready for it that time, but I mean, still to the left side, found a little bit of room. Maybe good for a yard or 2. But they've been pinning their ears back a little bit now, kind of getting the blitz in on there. So good call by coach, even though it was good for 1, kind of makes them think about it a little bit.
Yeah, bring those linebackers up and get some space back there for your receivers to get some catches.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. Tight end lined up to the right side of the formation. Parenti is your lone setback, dropping back to pass. Throws it across the middle, and it's tipped and picked once again. And he's coming all the way back. It was picked by number 13, Justin May. And that's going to be May's 2nd interception. So 3 picks and a fumble now, and this one's very costly. It looked like he had a pretty good hookup across the middle, but just off his hands. into Justin May's hands.
And that's going to put them in great field position. So, your defense keeps making stops, but the position you put them in, it just becomes so difficult to make stops, especially it's like we're at the 8-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 8. And they're going to run 2 to the left, 1 to the right, 2 backs in the backfield. Maximum protection. It looks like it's going to be a throw out to the right side. And the fullback's knocked out of bounds. I believe that was number 39. It looked like it was 39 anyway. That's going to be Sean Oplin, the 6', 225-pound sophomore out of Troy, Montana, by way of MSU. So your quarterback's going to be Tanner Kump this time.
And I formation, probably going to give the ball to Jedediah Fike.
And they're going to switch out of it. They're going to run trips to the left, 1 to the right. Fike is your lone setback, rolls out into a bubble screen. I'm just looking for end zone, and he finds the outside corner. So the touchdown pass is to Fike on the outside, and they're on the board. I don't see any laundry on the field, so that'll make it 9-0 Tech with 6:30 left in the half on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. And you're just going to wear this defense out if you keep turning it over.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And that time they just get the ball, nice little screen out to the left to Fike, and he had 3 big receivers and trips to block. And when you set one-on-one Fike in a corner, that's going to be a tough matchup any day of the week.
It's one of those times on the sideline you don't see the defense talking to the offense at this point. And the snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is up and good. So with 6:30 left in the half on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard, it's University of Montana Western 0. The visiting Montana Tech Diggers 10. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Taylor Realty, your homegrown real estate company for South.
And welcome back to live football action here from Vigilante Stadium. University of Montana Western trails 10-0. 3 picks and a fumble and a few flags on the field. So we still got to believe we're in halfway decent shape. We have 6:30. We're getting the football. We get it in the second half, but something's got to give here.
Yeah, you got to – this Montana Tech defense has been active, to say the least, making picks all over the field. This has been a defensive game, and if you could just find a way to consistently grab some yards and take care of that ball, that's what they need to do. Pretty quiet sideline here for Montana Western right now. But you can see the middle of that field starting to get a little bit muddy out there, and soon to see a little more of that through the rest of the half.
Well, and unfortunately, there's too much white on the Tech jerseys. I mean, you really want to pin them on their end of the deal as well. And the return here is going to be down the right side. It's got a little bit of a crease. It gets out past the 30. So for what we've seen lately, it's pretty darn good field position. Was that Sentman on the return back there?
Yeah, it looks like Blake Sentman, who's he's been bouncing around positions too, like these quarterbacks for Tech, and now he's playing receiver. He did play quarterback. He's your Wildcat quarterback. He
Kick
can return.
returner. Yeah, a little bit of everything. Well, and when you have athletes like that, you got to find a way to get him in. He's a freshman also. You got 2 freshman quarterbacks and a sophomore, Miller, with the big arm too. But John really has done a great job at this quarterback position. I look for him to bounce back here, even hopefully on this possession, as the give is around the right side to Pranty. He's finally dropped, got a good burst through the line of scrimmage. He's out across the 35, so decent little pickup there to start. And I think you got to be a little more dedicated to the running game at this point with the 3 picks. They seem to be kind of floating the zone there in the middle, and nothing's opening across the middle at this point. So 2 to the left, 1 to the right, tight end on the right side of the formation, and it's going to be a false start on the Bulldogs. And just not a clean game for this offense.
No, you've already seen a couple false starts. Penalties have been coming. The fans are not too happy about it. You can hear some complaints.
Yeah, no, tough crowd. Tough crowd. They're being a little unhappy. We'll just put it that way. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Jund as your lone set, or Pranty as your lone setback. And they're going to put Simpkins in motion. He's going to take you around the right side. Looks for a couple blocks. Good job of really kind of finding a crease in the middle and getting a few of those yards back, making it a little more manageable here on 3rd down. It's going to be 3rd and about, 7?
And that actually looked like, oh yeah, Simpkins. Sorry, I thought you said Sentman.
No.
They're so similar, but he's such a slippery runner. When he has the ball, you got to get it in his hands.
3rd and 6. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Pranty is your lone setback. Big 3rd down here. And he's got a good route out there. Oh, gets it into the hands of Meserly. And Meserly comes up with the 2nd drop. I mean, the other one was in his hands before. That one, no one around.
No, Meserly looking at his hands, and there's not much of an excuse you can give there because you're right about that. He was wide open, hit him in the hands.
He had a 2-yard, at least 2 yards on his defensive guy on that cut.
Yeah, that would have been a big, taking a lot of pressure off your offense there, but have to come back at it next possession.
And so it's going to be punt, 4th and 6 from their own 37. Karchenko back to punt. It's a nice high spiraling kick all the way back to about the 13. Good punt coverage, and they drop him right at about the 15, maybe good on a 2-yard return. And how many kick coverage teams send their best player down on defense and he gets another tackle? As Ferris is down there covering the kick.
Yeah, and put together a nice juke, the kick returner, but somehow Ferris still able to make the tackle, and he can do it wherever you need it.
And so it's going to be 1st and 10 for Tech as they have it on, what's about 16-yard line. So the defense is going to have to make a play, is what I'm thinking. I mean, just the offense doesn't seem to be going anywhere, kind of getting in their own way at this point. They got the bells out, and it's a nice pass on the outside. Good, sure tackle. Looks like this time we have Tanner Kump back in doing the tackling. And
Dion Williams with another catch. And if you have
he's
him
hurt. He's hopping off the field.
It's like an ankle. Oh, that is.
Trevor Hoffman.
Thought that was 81. It's 18. One-on-one with these receivers. I mean, it's a well-coached team, a lot of athletes. You got to give them room or they'll beat you deep, and that's how they're getting these shorter passes to go.
2nd and 2. 2 to the right, 1 to the left for the Orediggers. And the give is to Pike off the left side. Found a little bit of room in the middle, and he's got a little bit of room all the way across 50, the 40.
And the ball's out.
The ball's out, and the Bulldogs jump on it. So they catch him from behind at about the 30, punch it free, and the Bulldogs got a turnover, and the defense does what it's supposed to.
And Kyron Allen bringing the spark to the sideline. This sideline going crazy right now because that should have been a touchdown. Jed Fike doing what he does best, coming right through the middle of that line, using his speed, runs all the way down to about the 30, and coming from behind makes the tackle.
Punched free.
There goes the ball.
Well, and he's good at taking care of the football, too, so it's not like a guy that fumbles much, but that's the tough one. You got guys coming from everywhere. Big play on the defensive side of things. Let's hope this can turn around for the Bulldogs, as this offense needs a little bit of a spark. And the give is to Pranty up the left side, cuts back across the middle. He's wrapped up and dropped quickly, though. Cam Nissen was the one that kind of got the first wrap on it, and then cleaned up, of course, by Connor Wines.
And this defensive line is just Arthur Flynn, Cam Nissen. These are guys that are making plays every single play. So you gotta show the love where they need it.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Lone setbacks on the right side. They're bringing the house on the blitz. He finds the open man across the middle. He goes to Nate Simpkins. Almost broke free, but then kind of couldn't get the plant foot going. And by the time he kind of slipped, they caught up to him defensively. But if you want to go to a sure hands kid, you go to Nathan Simpkins.
Yeah, with someone on his back, it really doesn't matter for him. He's going to make the catch.
So Walker McKittrick on the left side, Nate Simpkins in the slot, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Pranty on the left side of the formation, tight end on the left side of the formation. John takes the snap, gives the handoff to Pranty over the right side. Good push by Montana Tech, though, is going to drop him back to the line. He gets a little past the line of scrimmage on a second effort, and that's what you always get out of Kyler Pranty. There's no quitting that kid.
No, he's first contact really doesn't matter for Pranty, and that's what you need, a consistent 3-down back, and he can do that.
And he's a stout 5'9", 200 pounds of muscle.
Mostly in the legs. Those legs are huge.
3 to the left. Lone setbacks Pranty to the left side of Jund in the shotgun. Give once again to Pranty. He's got a little bit of running room. He's good for a first down and a little bit more as he's taking it about the 42-yard line. Bulldogs have another first down.
And this Tech defense, they've been making plays, but they've been on the field for a long time too, so they got to be getting a little bit tired.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 40, or from the Tech 40. They're going to run trips to the left, tight ends on the right side of the formation. Jund's going to be your lone setback, lined up to the left side of Jund. Jund in shotgun formation. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Pranty, drops back to pass, looks down the left side, goes across the right side, and he's got an open man down to about the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. He found McKittrick once again.
Great composure from John Jund. He looks to the left. Looks like he was trying to get Simpkins in the corner and able to look one receiver, go find the next one that's open. So great play from the freshman quarterback.
1:54 left here in the half. Trips to the left. Lone setback is Pranty. Sorry. Got so excited, and we're finally moving the football. And he gives the fake handoff to the right side, or not fake hand, gives the handoff to the right side up to about the 16-yard line. Good play. I mean, just kind of mixing and match. Coach has done a great job this time of really keeping the defense on their toes, really shifted back that defensive line instead of being kind of more of an attack defense. They've had to sit back on their heels.
How fun are these two running backs to watch today, though?
Absolutely.
Talented players.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Pranty is lone setback. It's going to be a 2nd and 6 for the Bulldogs from the 16. Jones going to rotate out to his left on a bootleg. He's going to throw it into the back corner, looking for Simpkins, and Simpkins ended up having to play defense on that. It's knocked away.
And great coverage right there in his lap, and Simpkins was pretty much knocked out of the end zone by the time the ball got there.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs with 1:05 left in the first half.
They got cowbells being handed out in the Montana Western cheering section, so it's going to get loud.
So we're going to go 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Parenti is lone setback. And Simpkins will go in motion to the left side. And they snap the ball. Bootleg out to the left, looking to throw. Throws it into the corner. Once again, not there, incomplete. And really just didn't have a chance at anything there. Just kind of threw it away, so to speak. And it looks like Karchenko's going to get the opportunity to at least pull him within a touchdown. And if the footing and everything's good here, plenty of leg for this distance, that's for sure. It's going to be on about the 16-yard line, so you're looking at, 31, 32-yarder? About a 33-yarder it'll be. So the snap is good, the hold is good,
and
but it's blocked. So if you're playing fantasy football, you want the Montana Tech defense at this point. They got a blocked kick. They got 3 picks and a fumble recovery, and right now they're pitching a shutout with 56 seconds left in the half. Tech leads 10-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hi, this is Sandy Tyler.
they find a little bit of running room off the left side with Jed Fike. It's almost the same hole he picked last time. This one, not quite the same result. I would have liked the fumble part, but that's not what happened. Picked up about 7, so it's going to be a 2nd and 3. Goes on the right side, back across the left. Looks like he's going to be across the 30, and if the spot holds true, it's going to be good for another Montana Tech first down. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout by Montana Tech. So 27 seconds left in the half of the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. Montana Tech leads 10-0. We'll be back in 1 minute. And welcome back to live football action. Got a pretty good football game here. A little sloppy like the weather. Bulldogs just really offensively have kind of stood in their own way at this point. They've got a blocked field goal. They have 3 picks and a fumble, yet only trail 10-0.
And this defense is, they've stood their ground.
And dropping back, looking to pass. They're going to go deep on the double move. And on the last second, knocked away. And I tell you what, someone having a fantastic game out there. You can look no other than number 16, Kyron Allen.
Guarding the number 1 receiver. He had a forced fumble last possession. He's been doing it all from the corner position.
He comes across here and knocks it away when it looked like it was right in the lap. So great job there. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line for Montana Tech. And the give is to Fike off the right side. They're going to wrap him up and drop him after about a 2 or 3 yard gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and 7. I would assume at this point, I'm not sure you're going to use your timeouts, kind of let it tick away and get into halftime. I think that's going to probably do it for the half here for the football game. So the first half is completely over. In about 1 second, that'll do it. So first half, really sloppy for the University of Montana Western. They trail 10-0, and it doesn't even say anything about how the game turned out. The defense has been playing fantastic. The offense kind of got in their own way. So we're going to take a little bit of a timeout, and we'll get you right back to the Papa T's halftime show on the University of Montana Western's home field here at Vigilante Stadium against their rival, Montana Tech. They trail 10-0 on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. We'll be back in 4 minutes for the Papa T's halftime show. We'll be back in 4 minutes. And welcome back to live action here from the Vidge. Boy, we've got to put a little bit more effort into keeping track of the football.
Yeah, no kidding.
3 picks, a fumble, a block kick, and yet somehow we only trail 10-0. Good news, we get the football. Looked like there were some open plays. A couple drops were there. And welcome to the Papa T's halftime show, home of the world-famous taco pizza. And soup always tastes pretty good this time of year. They have a lot of good soup sandwiches, but hard to turn away that taco pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Someone the other day, though, told me they really like the pork chop sandwich is one of their favorites. They can't get away from that with mustard.
Oh, yeah, pork chop, French dip, I mean, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And any of those meals, it's all good, and there's going to be plenty of food there, too.
What a great sponsor they are for Dillon Sports.
Usually feeding the team, too, a lot of the time.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks once again for Papa T's. They sponsor our halftime show as well. And got a good football game here, a little sloppy, just like the weather. It's 10-0 for Montana Tech. They have 9 first downs. They have 18 rushes for 104 yards. Passing-wise, they have 73. They're 12 of 22. They have 14 total plays for 177 yards. They had a fumble return, 1 for negative 28. Interesting. And then three punts returned for just 12 yards. They have 1 kickoff return for 15. 3 interceptions returned for 25 yards. 4 punts for an average of 43.5. 1 fumble. It shows, 1 fumble, 1 lost. Both sides of the fence. They were penalized 5 times for 50 yards. And the time of possession was 12:41 for Montana Tech.
Yeah, Montana Tech for the individual leaders. Jed Fike, the juggernaut at running back, 13 carries for 83 yards, 46 being his longest, 6.4 average, so he's averaging more than he usually does already. Alec Woolley Steele with 1 carry for 14. Cole Hotman had 3 for 11, and Tanner Kump had 1 for -4 passing. They've had a couple different quarterbacks. Tanner Kump, he's had 10 completions on 14 attempts for 78 yards. Cole Hotman has 1 completion, and I think they have another quarterback, but he's not listed on this stat sheet. Passing for receiving, Dion Williams, of course, no doubt there. 4 catches, 12 yards. Trevor Hoffman has 2 for 21. Jed Fike has getting in on the receiving, 2 for 4. And Jet Campbell, who's already caught a pass and thrown a few as well, but receiving, he has 1 catch for 20. Punting, Nick Nunez, 4 punts for 174 yards. And punt returning, Alec Woolley Steele has 3 punt returns for 12 yards. Dion Williams, the only kick return for 15 yards. And this Montana Tech defense, they've been wreaking havoc. Jacob Clark has 5 tackles, Zach Morris with 4, Damari Morris with 3 tackles, and Justin May, who has 3 tackles and I think a couple interceptions already, almost an interception to the house. For Montana Western, rushing the ball, Kyler Prante has 12 carries for 49 yards, Trey Mounts 1 for 8, Nate Simpkins 1 for 5, and John Jund has 1 for -1. Jund has thrown 19 times and completed 7 of those. 3 interceptions, but 100 yards passing. And his receivers, Walker McKittrick has been his favorite, 4 catches for 77 yards. Nate Simpkins, 2 for 16, and Messerly, 1 for 7. Mark Karchenko has been doing the punting, 3 punts for 134 yards. Punt returners, Trey Mounts and Christian, both had a few. And kick returning, Blake Simpman and Devin Christian. On the defensive side of things, Montana Western, Jason Ferris has 9 tackles already before half. Riley Martello also with 9 total, 8 of those being assisted. Garrett Turner has 5 total tackles from the safety position, and their other linebacker coming in next, Kyle Schulte, has 4 tackles. That Montana Western defense has been on the field quite a bit there.
Yeah, when you have 2 guys with 9 tackles, and I picked Riley Martello in the last home game to be my defensive day. He waited a home game for me. I mean, he's already got 9 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss. I mean, plus he seems to be buzzing around. What I do see on that defense, it looks like they're getting 2 hats on Jason Ferris, yet he's still come up with 9 tackles. So he's flying around like you had said. At halftime, we want to just bring note to a couple people that got inducted, I believe, into the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. And so certainly want to give them their props. I believe it was in the magazine, in the coverage here, but a lot of wonderful people have make this university so great. So the Hall of Fame inductees were Brian Armstrong, Julie Schoen, Houston, the 1967 baseball team. Yes, Western had a baseball team. The 67 baseball team finished the season with an 8-1 record. They got a Frontier Conference championship out of it, and they defeated both Black Hills State out of South Dakota and Minot State out of North Dakota for the NAIA District 5 championship. Julie Schoen Houston is a 98 graduate of the University of Montana Western. She earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Communications. She was a member of the volleyball team from 95 through 98, winning a Frontier Conference championship in 1998. During her sophomore season, she set the school record for single-season solo and assisted blocks. She was also named the All-Frontier Conference Honorable Mention both her sophomore and junior years. During her senior season, she broke her own assisted blocks record and was named the Frontier Conference Player of the Week and was named to the All-Frontier Conference First Team as well as the All-Academic Team. Her senior season was capped off with the Frontier Conference Championship and a selection to the All-Pacific Northwest Region Second Team. Brian Armstrong, he was a 98 graduate of the University of Montana Western. He earned a bachelor's in the science degree in the elementary education, as well as competed on the football team at Montana Western from 92 through 95. He was a member of the Bulldog teams that won 3 straight Frontier Conference championships, making it to the second round of the playoffs in 1995, finishing 7th in the nation. Armstrong was named to the All-Frontier Conference team in both 94 and 95 for his outstanding play in 95. He was actually named first team All-American. Some of his fondest memories of Montana Western were beating Glenville State in 94. And, of course, lots and lots of bus trips, especially if you're successful in the playoffs in the Frontier Conference out of Montana. You're on the bus a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And that's why this rivalry is so fun. You don't have as much of a bus trip. You get to go right over to your next-door neighbor about 45 minutes away and knock heads. And we're going to see who's going to come out on this 49-1 big-time rivalry game we got here.
Well, and Armstrong, actually, as most people know, really has put a stamp on the Frontier Conference. He ranked second on Rocky Mountain College on the Batlin Bears all-time wins list. He's currently the offensive coordinator and tight ends coach for the Bobcats. And so he's definitely done a great job, really as a coach as well. It's amazing how many wonderful coaches and people come out of the Frontier Conference, and in particular University of Montana Western. So it's great to see that. Really just great overall. This football game, to me, is good. It could be a lot better if we see a little bit more of what we're used to on the Montana Western offensive side of things, clean up their mistakes a little bit. I think the defense is doing their job. In fact, the only touchdown we gave up is when they had the ball at the, started at the 11?
Yeah,
10?
about the 10-yard line, and Jedediah Fike using his speed.
Well, even on the field goal, I mean, originally they had, had them stopped, somewhat pinned, and then the defensive encroachment got them to where they got the football in a better spot. Next thing you know, ipso facto, a little bit easier field goal. There it is, 10-0. So we'll hope when we come out here with the offensive side of things, do you want to see a little bit more of the running game, or do you just want to see a little bit more of the routes? Because across the middle is just not working for us.
Yeah, I think if you can get consistent in that running game, I agree with you there. Is you got to get it to Prenti as much as you can and chew up yards, and that's going to tired out that line, and hopefully open up some passing lanes for you. You got receivers, McKittrick, Messerly, if he can make a few more catches, and Simpkins the way he plays. So I think you got to run the ball and really make sure that this line is beat down a little bit so that you can throw the ball around and get Jun comfortable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll take a little bit of a timeout here. Let you hear from our sponsors as we get geared up for the second half action here from Vigilante Stadium. Got a good one here. Unfortunately, Montana Tech takes the lead. We'll see a little bit of action from the University of Montana Western Bulldogs in the second half, maybe clean up their game. They will be receiving the kick, so we'll be first on offense. So once again, University of Montana Western trails Montana Tech Ore Diggers 10-0. We'll be back in 4 minutes. Atlantic Stadium, I think we're going to have a super exciting second half here. Some of the things to watch, I think you alluded to it earlier, that defensive line doing a great job for Montana Tech. I really want to get back to that running the football. I think that helps a lot to really kind of wear down that D-line. I mean, it's really tough when you have a young, semi-inexperienced offensive line, but yet what's the easiest thing to do? I mean, I know they pass protect most of the time, as most of the Frontier Conference, but if you can get the road graders going a little bit, they're going to knock them back on their toes a little bit. You'll have a little more time in the passing game.
Yeah, well, you have seen promise. There's been 2 or 3 drives where they've put together, 6, 7, 8 play drive and then got stopped, or thrown an interception. So you've seen this offense get into a little bit of a rhythm, and if they can just get into that rhythm early here in this half and hopefully, get some yards here and get some points on the board.
Well, and you got some big maulers. It's just, you want them to really progress into the full-time just maulers, so to speak. I mean, they're freshman, sophomore, a couple of juniors there. Really just excited for this half. I'd like to see a special teams touchdown would be cool, or a defensive situation. They need rewarded a little bit for all their time out there.
Mm-hmm.
Offense, of course, if they can keep the football for a little while, give them a little bit more of a breather. But I look for the football to be around a little bit more here. Lean on Pranty a little bit, and then open it up for John.
Montana Western had a couple defensive scores over in Eastern, so if you can get back to that.
When it's into the end zone, Christian's going to bring it out to the right side, up the middle. Gets a little bit of room, gets across to about the 25. So it's going to be about a 26, 27-yard return, right to the 25. But, if that's what you do, you're going to bring the ball out. I mean, everyone's like, oh, you're in the back. You could have down. No.
Yeah, and that one was it was so close to the line there that, you don't want to hesitate. And he's a straight-up runner. He's not going to dance around. Christian isn't.
And the Bulldogs are on offense. They got a 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Like to see the penalties cleaned up this half. A little bit of the sun coming out. Not too windy out here at all, so really haven't contended with the wind. A little chilly, but not that bad for Montana. He's going to cut it back. It looks like they're going to get it back to about the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a 2nd and 10. Maybe the forward momentum got him a yard at best. So it's going to be a 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs from the 26-yard line. Walker McKittrick lined up to the left side of the formation. One to the right. That's going to be Messerly. Pranty is the lone setback. And they're bringing kind of a backer blitz. It's a nice pull by Messerly to Messerly. Messerly can't come up with it once again. Demery Morris on the coverage.
And it looked like it hit him in the chest. He was getting contact right when he caught it. Demery Morris, great defensive player. He's right there on the catch, but that's one you kind of got to pull in.
Yeah, no, keeps finding a way to go to Messerly and putting the ball where it should be. That's a big 3rd and 9 already. And looking in the slot, here's Walker McKittrick. They're going 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And we already got some flags flying, so that's usually going to be on the offense at that point. No. Did they break huddle with 12?
Yeah, it looks like they had one defensive player running off the field.
That definitely helps. We'll take it.
And that's something you don't see often with this Montana Tech team. They're coached so well with Coach Morrell.
3rd and 4 after the 5-yard penalty. Definitely opens up the playbook a little bit more. They run kind of a close set. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Simpkins in one slot, McKittrick in the other. Pranty is lone setback. You got 8 guys in the box for Tech, and he's going to sling it out as a wide open Simpkins down the sideline to about the 47, where I think is probably where he's driven out, probably about the 48. So big play by the Bulldogs.
And they were bringing that heat, and when you bring that many people to the line, you pretty much got to go man-to-man on your receivers, and that's a tough receiver to do that with.
Trips to the right, 1 to the left. Pranty is the lone setback, lined up to the left side of John, who's in the shotgun. Drop back to pass. Got some time. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to run it, and he almost gets stripped from behind. Depending on where the spot, he's going to be close to another Montana Western 1st down, and they're going to give it to him on the spot. Another 1st down for the Bulldogs, and a good promising start here so far, as it's 1st and 10 Bulldogs. They're into Tech territory. They're on the 42-yard line. They're on Tech's 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Trips to the right, 1 to the left. Running backs lined up to the right side of the quarterback. Flips it out to McKittrick. McKittrick gets a block, slips through the seam, gets a little bit of room, down to the 25, the 20, all the way down to about the 15-yard line.
Great job using that speed. Got a little screen pass out on the right, able to make one guy miss and gets about 15, 20 yards on the run.
McKittrick seems to be the go-to guy so far. And they're going to run Sitman out on the top over to the left side. Sitman and Simpkins out to the left side. McKittrick and Messley out to the right. Branty to the right side of the formation is the lone setback. John dropping back to pass, looking for things to open. Rotates out to the left side. Don't throw it across your body. Keeps running. Good job. Looked like he was trying to square up the shoulders and then just kept running. He's able to get a nice pickup on the bootleg.
John, he's rolling out to the left, keeps his head up, and I think it was a good decision. He's had a few interceptions. You don't want to see any of those tip interceptions like we did in the first half, so good decision for him.
So it's going to be 2nd and 6 Bulldogs from their own 11-yard line. They're going to run one to the left, trips to the right. Lone setback is Pranti's lined up to the right side of Jund. Fakes the handoff, looks to the end zone, throws it into the end zone corner. Double teamed was McKittrick.
And luckily outthrowing the two defenders.
Didn't even really have a chance at that play. I mean,
no, almost kind of throwing that away, but just didn't quite throw it far enough. Scary. Trying to scare the crowd over here.
And so we're running 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Prenti is your lone setback. It's going to be a big 3rd and 6. After a block here, you're almost scared. I mean, do you throw it in the end zone if you don't get it on 3rd down? Looks like they're bringing a safety blitz. And a good run for Pranti. Pranti just keeps running, almost gets himself to the goal line. It's going to be good for a 1st down.
Good run from Kyler Pranti, and you're on, what, the 2 it looks like?
Yeah. So it's going to be a 1st and goal from about the 2-yard line. I think you run it in here. You give him the payday. And they brought someone at his feet. He had to sidestep it, so he wasn't able to find his way into the end zone. But great job. He could have easily got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He at least got back to the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a 2nd and goal from about the 2. I mean, at one point or another, you might even want to get up under that center, even though you don't take that many center snaps.
Just have John take it right in for you.
Follow the leader. And this time they're going to give to Pranti once again. It looks like he got in, and he did. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Great drive from Montana Western.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Just great play calling and, conservative plays. Nothing that looked like it was going to get you a turnover.
Well, let's face it, it's easy to be brilliant up here, but like we said, lean on the running game. Let them establish themselves. There are a couple good pass plays there. McKittrick made a big play. Simpkins made a big play. But really reestablish that running game, gives them a little more time. And then the extra point is blocked. So they figured out something in the middle, and they're turning it around. Tech's got a shot at getting this, taking this to the house. You got some speed catching up with him, and he's going to go down the left side,
and they
can't
catch
it
up
done.
To him. Using that speed to run all the way down from the other end. It's going to be 2 points for Montana Tech after the blocked PAT.
Temery Morris with the return.
And Boyd Ginny came from the other side. Caught up to him, made him change directions, and almost made a tackle, but he just switched directions and still able to outrun him.
Wow.
And that speed, I'm impressed that Ginny caught all the way back up to him and just making
He
a
was
big
taking
move.
some great strides all the way across. So they returned it all the way back, and just a turn of events, they get 2 out of that, as most people would know. The block returned for 2 points. Tech now leads 12-6, and they get the football. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Wow, that's just kind of a little bit of a mistake there too. As the ball's knocked down, someone needs to get on top of that. Kind of just seemed like there was some shuffling. Next thing you know, breaking out of the pack was Demery Morris. And like you had said, Boyd Jenny did a great job of trying to run him down, had a pretty good angle. Demery Morris changed speed on him, somewhat ran out of gas when he tried to catch him back up to him. And then Demery Morris gets it returned to 96 yards. I mean, it was, 2 yards off the kick, so probably 96 yards. Demery Morris goes the other way, puts 2 more points on the board for Tech. And instead of it being a 1-touchdown game, it's actually, or being a 3-point game, it's actually going to be a 6-point game. And then the return game, they return it out across the 30. And so what was kind of a good thing, late flag comes in. And there is a hold on Tech. It seemed like a way late call, but coming out of nowhere, there's a hold. So a little bit of good news there for Montana Western, but kind of a slap in the face. She scores 6, and then next thing you know, turns around and they get 2 points in the football.
Yeah, and that's just a team that wants the ball, and you can see this. I mean, already 2 blocks in field goal and PAT. They're just putting their ears back and going and getting it.
Yeah, the Montana Tech defense isn't talked about enough, and they certainly did a great job here. In the quarterback position is Tanner Kump this time. Going into motion, they fake the handoff, give it to Pike on the right side, bounce it back to the left side, gets a little bit of room out here, across the 35 to about 37, good for a Montana Tech first down. And good discipline there for the Montana Tech offense, because usually if a busted play like that happens, there tends to be a hold, but it looks like they hold true to form on both sides of that offensive line, let alone the receivers. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Tech. They're going to have the ball at the 38-yard line. They're running trips to the right, 1 to the left. Lone setback is Pike. They roll out to the right and looking to throw down the sideline and throws it back across the receiver.
And that's an interception.
Had to come back and get it, and it did look like it was a pick.
And they're going to call
right at the 30.
30. So the Kyron Allen was manned up with the receiver, and the receiver almost makes an amazing catch around his back, but it tips it up. Not very high, just high enough for the safety to come in.
They didn't call the pick, though.
And catch it almost before it hits the ground, but it was just that close, I think, after the tip. You know, it really got tipped maybe a foot off the ground.
And unfortunately, in the Frontier Conference, we don't have replay.
Very close play. Could have gone either way.
It did look like you picked it up off the ground. I mean, I was almost sitting here looking in daze, and then when you said it, I'm like, you're right. I'm pretty sure he picked that out. It'd be interesting to see that on a replay, because it looked like he picked it before it got to the ground.
Looked like it got tipped and intercepted.
So it's going to be just a simple 2nd and 10 from the 38. You're going to fake the handoff, give it to Pike. Pike stays behind his line, bounces out. And you can't really do that with the way this defense swarms.
No, you really can't dance around in the backfield because they just come so quick from the linebacker positions. But Fike, he is just it's like the Energizer Bunny from there. He's so relentless.
So it's going to be about a 3rd and 9 from the 39, 38 for Tech. So big 3rd and 9 here for Tech as they drop back the pass. Had all day, but comes up short on the throw for Tanner Kump. Did a great job stepping up in the pocket, but just didn't get enough on the throw. Comes up a little bit short. It's going to be incomplete. And you definitely got to punt the football here with the 6-point lead. So the defense does what they should do. Do it again. In fact, crazy to think that of those 12 points, definitely, 2 of them obviously weren't even on the defense, and the other 10 or the other 7 they got the ball at the 11.
Yeah.
So the defense is doing what they're supposed to. We just need the offense to do a little bit more. And it looks like Devin Christian is going to take the football, cuts it back to the left side. Not really much room, as there's a good cover team for Montana Tech.
They're a fast cover team. They come down. They have a couple players. Danny Mannix, one comes down and makes the hit, and another flag. There's been a lot of flags on special team plays today.
Seems like a lot of flags in general. I think both teams will probably, would we have 5? They had 6 or something like that. I mean, it was definitely something we need to clean up as well.
Yeah, 5 and 4 at half. Probably been 2 or 3 more.
And it's on Western. So that'll drive us back to our own goalpost once again. What are we about at the 9? Or did they call it at the 9? They're going to put it right at about the 9-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 9. Yeah, we had 5. They had 5 penalties for 50. We had 4 for 25. Crucial penalties. So at this point, I think it's 7 and 6 or 7 and 7 on the penalties for the ball game. Both of them are going to push to get 10 apiece. So 9:32 left. Bulldogs trail 12-6. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Here from Vigilante Stadium, and really would like to see a good offensive set once again here.
Yeah, coming off a nice drive, they methodically came down and drove the ball down the whole field. So see if John can stay comfortable to do that again and get back to that running game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just did a lot for the offense, and we'll see if it does it again here. And they're going to fake the handoff, drop back to pass, got him on a turnout, but he's unable to hook up with McKittrick as he throws it a little too far out. Those hook routes are a little tougher when you're kind of slogging through mud.
Trying to throw it right off the break, and you can't take those breaks as cleanly when you're going through mud. And you can see these players on the sideline, they have a wire brush you run your cleats over, and so you can tell there's been mud that are getting in your cleats almost every play.
Yeah, no, it certainly has been difficult for the timing routes, and we'll see if this helps. Give it to Pranty. Pranty's going to bounce it on the outside, turn it back out upside, and then there's the swarm tackling of Tech. He might even lost the yard on that play. If not, he got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and a very important 3rd and 10. I mean, it's only 3rd quarter, but for the 3rd quarter, it's going to be a big one.
And the 3rd downs just seem to come so quickly for Montana Western.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You throw on first, you run on second, and here we go. And so they're going to run 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Lone setback is Pranty. Looks like they're going to bring a corner blitz. Jen will drop back, and he's just going to have to throw it away.
Getting pressure from none other than number 47, Connor Wines. He's left his imprint on this football game today, but making plays all over the field.
And Temu was just kind of locked up with someone on the outside, so he wasn't looking to get open. It looked like he was set to block on maybe a screen play or something like that.
Screen.
So Karchenko? No, it isn't even Karchenko back to punt.
Casado,
it looked like. Is it not 11, right?
Yep, Joe Casado, linebacker coming into punt.
And it's a high spiraling kick. Calls a fair catch right at the 50. So actually a really good kick.
Yeah,
he kicked it from the end zone. He got 50 yards of air. So about 39 on the turnover. Well, they had it at the 9, so looking at 41 yards difference. So can't argue with that at that point. But Montana Tech in great field position once again as they have the ball, 1st down right at the 50. They lead 12-6. And it looks like if something's going to happen, we need the defense to come up with another big play. So they're going to run trips to the right, 2 to the left, no setbacks, and he's going to keep it, and it's going to be dropped. I mean, they snuffed that out and came and got it.
And that's Joe Casado. Kicks the punt, comes down, and makes the next play.
That was Hopman in on the quarterbacking. I just, I see too much clean white jerseys.
Yeah, they are. There's not much mud. You don't see getting down in the mud. Jed Fike, he's a little bit muddy, but other than that.
So Fike back in. He's lined up to the left side of the quarterback. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Tight end on the left side of the formation. And they give the hand. Oh, ball's on the ground. He's covered by Hopman. And so they're going to lose about a yard on that. That's one of those cheap sacks you love to have, right?
Mm-hmm. And just muff the handoff. It's probably due to, a young quarterback. They're switching quarterbacks often. So surprising that you don't see more turnovers or interceptions from this Montana Tech quarterback core, but they've done a great job of taking care of the ball.
So it's going to be 3rd and 11. They're running a really tight formation. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Fike is the lone setback. He's getting dropped back, has a little bit of time to throw, gets it out across to about the 45-yard line where it'll bring up a 4th down. That was out to number 19.
Sam McCamley, 6'2", junior, 185 pounds from Glacier High School, Kalispell, Montana.
And it looks like they're going to try to pin us again. Number 41 to punt. 41, Nick Nunez, 6'3", 225-pound redshirt freshman. It's a big punter.
Yeah, he's had some good punts today.
He's good at his job.
And
they're going to get a good one, too.
Down to the 3, probably.
It looks like, maybe even the 2. No, I think right between the 2 and the 3.
Right
Either way, a lot of real estate to cover.
Been some good punts from Nunez today. I think that's the second time he's been pinned inside the 10.
Tech leads 12-6, 6:30 left on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard here in the 3rd. We'll be back in 1 minute. Live football action here from Vigilante Stadium. Beautiful Dillon, Montana. University of Montana Western trails 12-6. They'll take over from their own 3-yard line, 1st and 10. They're going to run 1 to the right, 2 to the left, tight end on the left side of the formation. Jundin shotgun. To the right side will be Pranty. He's going to roll out, and he throws. Obvious hold.
There was a hold,
thank you.
and they're going to throw it.
I almost thought they were going to get away with it.
And Simpman out on a corner route had the receiver and the cornerback hip to hip, but corner grabs onto the jersey just trying to reach out there, and you could see it separate from the body, and that's why they make the call.
And that is definitely why you get that kind of athlete in the ball game. Just blue separation, and they've been pretty good at covering most of the people that run out. McKittrick's found a little bit of opening, and so has Messerly, but Messerly, unfortunately, probably has at least 2 drops, maybe even a 3.
Mm-hmm. You got that speed. You got to have some good hands, too. Hopefully,
and usually pretty sure-handed. Could use a big play here. And they're going to give it to Pranty, dance around, misses a tackler, gets to the 2nd level. And that's still good. I mean, even if it's 2-3 yard pickup, just keep them on the back, on their heels versus on their toes. And it just really keeps that offensive going. think he got about 3 out of that. Looks like we got about a 2nd and 7, a short 7. I'll call it 6. We'll go 2nd and 6. So it's going to be 2 to the left, 1 to the right, tight end on the right side of the formation. Pranty to the left side of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs going left to right on your FM dial. And he's going to go on the outside. Didn't give him much room on that out route to run with, but Senton was able to drag it in and maybe picked up 2. I mean,
not much, but he makes the catch. Moves up to about a 3rd and 3.
3rd and 2 about. We'll see what we can do with it. And it looks like he's going to have to work a little bit to get it, but he's pretty close. It looks like a favorable spot as well. Good work by Pranty.
And they fight their way out of their own end zone.
That was all Pranty.
Yeah, he gets contact right at the line of scrimmage, and he's so good at just finding a way to get 2 or 3 yards.
So tight end to the right side of the formation, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Pranty is lone setback. He's lined up to the left side of John. John takes the snap, drops back, throws it down the left side. He's got a man. Oh, hands all over him. They're kind of letting him get away with a little bit of pulling and shoving. And that's McKittrick.
Trying to go long. John showing off that arm strength, just didn't quite have enough.
And so unfortunately, brings up 2nd and 10.
Nice.
2nd and 10 from about the 30. 2 to the right, 1 to the left, tight end on the left side of the formation. Pranty to the left side of the quarterback, John. John takes snap, gives to Pranty. Pranty down the left side. Shuffles out. The ball's out. Picked up by John. And there's a flag on the play. The ball just popped right out.
A great play from, looked like one of the Montana Tech linebackers. He just grabbed that ball and ripped it out, and it popped straight up about 5 feet in the air.
Luckily, I believe it was John that was Johnny on the spot.
Johnny John on the spot.
I don't know what the flag was on, though. So it's going to be about a 3rd and 11.
A holding call on Montana Western.
So 3rd and 11 from the 29-yard line. Trips to the right. And the tight end's on the left side. They're using, and Sentman's up to make the catch, but unable to come up with it. And then gets forced by Jake Orvis down. So it's going to be incomplete. And here comes the punting team once again.
Giving him the chance. John Junn gave his receiver the chance, hit him in the hands, and a good defense. They're right there, but in this conference, you got to make plays like that.
And the defense will be on the field once again. I mean, barring any major return to the house or anything. 12-6 Tech leads, 4:27 left, and they blocked the kick.
Blocked it.
And it shouldn't
Looks
have said
they're
nothing.
Pick it up. It might be to the house.
And score. So Montana Tech, if you were playing fantasy football, it would be a great defense to have. They block a kick. They block the field goal. They blocked an extra point. They blocked the punt for a touchdown now. They now lead 18-6. And I think you go for 2 here, don't you? Doesn't the card say to go for 2? Because 19-6, you're still up 13.
Looks like they're going to line up for the kick anyways. But
right? I mean,
this Montana Tech sideline is looking hyped right now, to say the least. And, you know, special team plays, those are just players that just want to go out there and make a play, and that's what they're doing.
And it's up and good. 4:18 left here in the 3rd quarter on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. Montana Tech leads 19-6. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Mile High Motors Service Department knows that getting your vehicle serviced
Welcome back to live football action here from Vigilante Stadium. Not good. Blocked punt turns into 6 on a scoop and score for Montana Tech. Montana Tech now leads 19-6. They'll be kicking off. Tyler Padilla will be doing the kicking. And we need something, whether it be a special teams, a big play to the house, something quick to kind of just turn that momentum around.
Yeah, spark to come out and make a play. Devin Christian could be that.
He takes it over the right side, gets a couple blocks, and works his way across the 30 to about the 36-yard line as he spins, keeps the legs churning, and definitely got great field position for us as we start from our own 36-yard line, 1st and 10 Bulldogs. And tried to run the running game. Fortunately, that almost turned into a turnover.
Almost had the
fumble, but we were able to pick it up. Then they block the punt. Turns into a scoop and score. You're almost shell-shocked at this point.
Yeah, 2 blocks to scoop and scores.
Trips to the left, 1 to the right. It looks like Meserly's all alone here. It's a one-on-one on the outside. They do shift the safety over to the coverage. And they're just going to throw it on a screen route. Maybe good for 2. It looks like they're only going to put one guy on Meserly. I mean, you kind of got to go back to the well again, don't you? I mean, even though he's had a little bit of problems with the drops.
Yeah, he's proven to play a lot better in the 4th quarter. He's had a few big 4th quarters for us.
And he's a big-time player.
He has speed that can get you touchdowns quickly.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Lone setback, Pranty. John drops back the pass. Has plenty of time. Throws it across the middle. Hooks up with the receiver.
Trey Mounts all the way down to the 20. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. And they're finally able to come back across the middle. Great job of John Junn, really kind of looking around, stepped up in the pocket, found a good passing lane, and then gave his guy enough time. Trey Mounts found his way open, hits him for a nice strike. And it's going to be 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the Tech 20. So 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Devin Christian in to run the football. He's lined up to the right side of the formation. And dropping back the pass. Good job as he steps up in the pocket. John, lots of room to the left
side. Might have an angle into the end zone, and
he's
doesn't quite
dive
get
for
there.
The pylon, but didn't make it.
Could have easily gave it to him, though, looking at
it. It was very close. John, about 3 Tech players right there when he reached the pylon and just didn't quite reach early enough.
So it's going to be a 1st and goal from the 1. Bulldogs already on the line, ready to go. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Christian has the lone setback. And they keep it
on top of that.
They
number
keep it
47.
with John, but there's Connor Wines.
Connor Wines coming off the edge, untouched. As soon as John got the ball, fakes the handoff, he's hit by Wines.
He lost a couple on that one. So it's going to be a 2nd and goal from about the 4-yard line.
And you don't want to stop and kick this one. You need a touchdown right now.
Especially with how the kicking games really went for us. Blocked field goal, blocked extra point, blocked punt. Nowhere to go with that on the wide receiver sweep. They say they have the football. Tech says they have the football, but we're not getting any indication.
Like he was down first, so they're not going to call it a fumble.
I think that was McKittrick on the carry.
Yeah, they tried to bring a receiver in motion. Did it earlier in the game with Simpkins, and this time with McKittrick. Not able to get much yards.
In fact, I think he lost a yard. It's now 3rd and goal from the 5. So 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Devin Christian once again as the running back, lined up to the right side of John. And looks to it, rolls out to the left. Got a little bit of room, throws it across his body to the back of the end zone.
And
incomplete.
He dropped it. And
it was
Jake
Meserly again.
coming through the back of the end zone. John rolling out to his left, throws across his body, and a great throw. A little bit low, had to dive for it, but
only where his guy could have got it though. And it looks like at this point they got to call a timeout, talk it over. And that's what they do. 1:05 left in the third quarter on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. Montana Tech leads 19-6. Bulldogs will have a 4th and goal from the 5 when we come back. We'll be back in 1 minute. Fourth down as they look to go for it. And they want a timeout as the Bulldogs must have had something they weren't prepared for. And you'd hope at that point you snap the ball, but apparently the Bulldogs weren't ready either. So it's going to be a timeout Tech. 1:05 left in the third. Bulldogs lead or trail 19-6 to Montana Tech. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Was certainly one of the bigger fourth downs that you'll see all day. We trail by 13. It's a 4th and goal from the 5. They're going to run 2 to the right, tight ends on the right side of the formation, 1 to the left, and it's a one-on-one coverage on the outside. And Devin Christian as your lone setback. John in the shotgun. They're going to send Simpkins into motion to the left. And they're going to fake to Christian, throw it to the right, and Tamal's unable to come up with it, and incomplete.
So try to get it down to your little tight end, Colby Tamel, and see if he can get a few yards. And it looked like there might have been an opening, but just pitch and catch didn't come together. Drop. So this offense is just, they've had moments where they drive really well, and then Tech defense has pretty much had its way today, though.
Tamel not happy with himself. So, defense needs to step up. Montana Tech with the football. They're looking to push it down the pocket. It's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And the defensive line's done a great job early getting penetration, getting their hands up, making tough passing lanes for whoever's throwing the football for Montana Tech. And it's going to be a 2nd down and 10. You'd hope that you get it ball back right away here just to shift that momentum. Montana Tech really did a great job of swinging the momentum, really after that blocked extra point.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the block scoop and score, but the block extra point sure helped. They're going to shift 2 defensive line, both their tight ends to the left side of the formation. They're going to give it to Pike on the right side. He's got a lot of room to run. Kiv shifts it outside, gets a 1st down, does a spin move, gets out to about the 20-yard line where it's going to be a 15-yard pickup, and it's going to be 1st and 10 Montana Tech. So nicely designed play. They bring both of the 2 tight ends to the left side of the formation, bring the linebacker over to that side, and then they ran it back where those tight ends were to the right side. Good for Montana Tech 1st down. So you got 2 to the left, 1 lone setback. It's going to be Pike, and he's going to run the football up the middle. Gets a bit of chunk yardage there all the way out to the 30. Good for about a 10 or 11-yard pickup. So it's going to be another 1st down for the Ore Diggers.
And Fike, he's such a valuable player, especially when you get late in games and you're up. It's so reliable. When a team's tired, their defense has been playing all day against you. If you can get 5-6 yards, just the little handoff, I mean, that
and keep that clock going.
Yeah, it's just such a dagger.
And they line up once again, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. So after 3 quarters of play on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard, Montana Tech leads 19-6. We'll be back in 1 minute. And welcome back to live football action here from Vigilante Stadium. University of Montana Western trails 19-6. 19 is a little deceiving because most of those points are not coming off this defense. One of them was a blocked punt, scoop and score. Other was a blocked extra point, scoop and score.
Yeah.
And Pike doing the dirty work once again. He's getting chunks now. Like I said, oh, no, this was 81 on the receiver run.
Williamson.
Which we haven't really even talked too much from Dion Williams.
No, he well, quite a bit right in the first quarter, but since then they've done a good job of locking him down.
2 to the left, lined up on the right side of the format. It's going to go to Pike. Pike, a little bit of juke move, and then kind of straight up, though. It looks like he's going to be good for another Montana Tech first down, as now they're starting to lean on that running game. Like you had led to earlier, a little tired as this defense been on the field an awful lot. And so Pike's still in the football game. They're going to run 2 to the right, 2 tight ends on the left side of the formation. It looks like they're just going to try to grind it out as Pike switches to the right side. He gets the football, or they faked the football to him, and then a nice play as they try to get it out to Williams. And really having a great game out there is number 16, Kyron Allen. Really played extremely well.
Yeah, coming up to sniff that little screen out. They just ran it. He comes up, makes the hit, and gets in the face of the veteran wide receiver. So you like to see that fire from your younger players, and that's what you need. Players that are going to bring the fire and just go out and make a play.
Well, he's a senior out of Elko, Nevada. But good matchup there on the
veteran.
outside. Oh, he had all day to throw. There was a little push and shove there at the end, but and that was Jet Robertson on the intended receiver. Incomplete. It'll bring up a big third down for this Bulldog defense. Montana Tech third, not quite 11, maybe 10 and a half. So big third. They have Pike in the football game as the running back. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. And you're right, Pike and Williams are the 2 dirty ones. Everyone else fairly clean, but you can definitely tell that Jed Fike has put his time in. Oh, and he had it right in his hands, but heard footsteps
And then
was unable to come up with it.
Yeah, lost it right after. And you can see where this mud is starting to take its toll. Almost in between every play, Fike is reaching down and pulling wads of grass and mud out of his cleats.
And so they're going to have to punt. The defense once again comes up with a big stop. 19-6 the score here. 13:21 left in the football game. Montana Tech to punt. It's punt. It looks like Christian's actually going to call a fair catch. He'll get it right at about the 24-yard line.
Good decision on Christian's part. That is surprising to see.
It's still so fun to watch him return. Yeah, let him go.
Yeah, as being a fan, you'll love to see that.
Smart play, though. Very smart play. The 675-pound running back, receiver, return man, kickoff specialist. It's kind of the hunter on that kickoff team. So with 13:15 left, Bulldogs trail 19-6. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Really to get them back in, get the crowd on their side. And the give's going to be a fake to Pranty. He's going to go to the back part of the end zone on the corner route. And one fairly rare, just poor throw.
Yeah, he got hit by, it looks like number 35, Ike Schweikert, a linebacker. Came in, gave him a hit right when he let it go and was actually wanting a flag, but good defense there in your face.
Kind of seemed like it was a little late. I mean, granted, we're a fan for the one team, but need a quick strike here. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Had some decent field position here. Just hasn't worked out. Sure need to get in the end zone, see what we can do with it. Give us to Pranty on the right side. They kind of snuffed that out. He's going to bounce it back out, but nowhere to go as the pursuit just catches up to him. Good effort by Pranty, but just nowhere to go, and it's going to bring up a third down. 3rd and probably 13. Looks like once they place the ball.
Looks like Boyd Ginny's going to come in at tight end.
We'll call it 3rd and 12, I guess, yeah.
One of your receiving tight ends, so they may be looking to get there.
I mean, do you kick the field goal here? I mean, you don't want to just pass and pray either. Trips to the left. Lone setback is Pranty. The snap. Looking into the end zone. Over to the right side. Finds Simpkins for the touchdown. I got me some more cowbell.
There, you got it. The nice little out route Might have been coming across the middle from the left side and over on the right side. Great throw. Simpkins uses that speed to get in the end zone.
All he does is score touchdowns. Nathan Simpkins gets in the right side of the end zone. Touchdown Bulldogs, just what the doctor ordered. Lining up for the point after. It's 19-12 Montana Tech. Karchenko pulling the mud and dirt out of his spike. And he's only actually been on the field for a couple seconds.
Yeah, so you can only imagine being out there every play.
Snap is good, hold is good, the kick is up and good. Great job of Karchenko really making the adjustment too. It was more of a quick kick. Took only a step and a half back, got up into it, and got it done. So the Bulldogs only trail 19-13, 11:39 left. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Arnie Miller and Sons knows that
And welcome back to live football action here from Vigilante Stadium. Good game as built. It's been sloppy. The field's been sloppy. The defenses have been true to nature, as they both are very dominating. Montana Tech's found a couple ways on the board with their defense, but Montana Western spent a lot more time out there, and they've done a great job of getting the stops when they need to. And the offense did a good job at this time of finally finding some points. It's a big 3rd and 11.
Yeah, I think the story of this game right now is some pretty young quarterbacks on both sides of the ball, and it's going to come down to which young quarterback's either going to make that play, or is this Montana Tech offense going to be able to chew up a lot of clock and get a score? Because with Jed Fike, this is where he comes into play, and who knows how this field's going to affect that running game too. It's so tough to get traction right now on both sides, and you can't really make cuts and make long plays, especially when there's grass and in your cleats. You can't cut very well. You just slip.
Well, and we'll see if this defense got anything left in the tank. I'm sure it does. It's nothing like the bite of a dog. He takes it at about the 10-yard line, goes straight ahead, front line stream. Finally kind of loses his footing. It looked like he had a little bit more room and just gets plucked down at about the 30-yard line. So Montana Tech will take over from their own 30. It'll be 1st and 10. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
.org.
Fike to the left on the carry, out to about 39. Looked like he almost lost the groceries, but was able to go down with the football and pick up about a good 6 yards on the play. It's going to be a 2nd and 4 from the 39. They're going to give it to him once again. This time the stop is in. As was that Martello?
Yeah, it looks like Riley Martello, number 34, in on the tackle.
He's starting to look fully healthy. I mean, I know he's supposedly been for a while, but he's got a lot more of that football instinct that he's had for quite a while, and it just looks like he's letting himself play finally. After an injury like that, though, you get a little bit afraid. You never want to admit it, but he's playing the fearless nature we've really come to know and love here at Western as fans. And they're going to fake the run this time, and then I think that's why Jet doesn't play all the time. He said he throws the football pretty well, but on those short passes, he almost throws it in the dirt more than once, and unfortunately it cost him there because he had a lot of real estate to work with if he gets it out to the receiver there.
Yeah, and that's a quick 3 and out right there for the Montana Western defense.
Uncle Mo is wearing black and red at this point, and set to punt onto the field is Nick Nunez. And he struggles with it and kicks it straight up there. It looks like it might have even been blocked. Either way, it's going to go all the way back, and it's going to be at about the 24 when they finally get it.
And
so Montana Western with a huge stop there. It looked like it hit him in the hands.
It did. That was it hit him in the hands. He dropped it, picked it back up, and even still got it off. But I don't know if it got blocked or just the way that he kicked it when he was in a hurry after the drop. It goes straight up, lands pretty much on the line of scrimmage almost, and bounces backwards.
And so the Bulldogs are going to take over from their own 25 from Tech's 25-yard line, and really like the change of events here.
Yeah, that went from probably being on Montana Western's 30, now it's on the other 30.
1st and 10 from the 24, we'll call it 25, close enough to 25. Mm-hmm. So Montana Tech's 25-yard line, Bulldogs out of the ball, 1st and 10, trips to the right, fakes the handoff, drops back to pass. There's Wines.
He gets hit, ball's
He strips
down.
It, ball's out, and it looked like it was Johnny, our lineman, on the spot.
Number 70, it looked like. Ty LaHue making a heads-up play.
That's a big fella, too, to get on the play. 6'4", 270-pounder out of 9 Mile Falls, Washington. Big play by him. But also, unfortunately, a huge loss, probably almost 10, to the 34-yard line. So it's going to be a 2nd and 20. So they're going to go 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Just did not feel him coming at that point. And the only thing worse is pass out to the right side, loses a little bit of footing, but Blake Sentman had a little bit of an angle on that. And then if he wouldn't have lost his footing, probably would have put a couple more yards in it. And like you had said, they just keep moving Sentman around. He's going to find a home because he's a skilled player.
Yeah, he wants to go make a play, and he's had a few chances. They've been in his hand, so watch for the long ball here because we know John Jun has range for this.
Trips to the left, 1 to the right. They do have the safety over to the top of the band on the right side. That's Sentman. Now it scoots over back to the middle. He's got one-on-one with Sentman. He's going to go across the middle.
Right over the middle.
Lamb-basted, but holds on to it.
And perfect throw, pretty much right over the first down line to Trey Mounts. Makes the catch.
Mounts having a good game as well. And Ralphie brought the heat on that. Just stuck him in the mouth. But it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Bulldogs from about the 13-yard line. So great job of recovering from the sack. 2 to the left, 2 to the right, drop back the path. John goes to the corner, and that's just not a pass that they seem to really be comfortable with, but they keep throwing it.
Yeah, right. It was that an out route from the left side from Nate Simpkins, and just way too high for Simpkins. He has a great range of motion for where he can catch the ball, and tried to get his hand on it, but I think we're all right. They like to throw a lot of passes where it's going out of bounds. I know we're not going to have an interception. We still get live another down.
Right. So it's going to be a 2nd and 10 from the 13. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Lone setback is Pranty. He's going to keep it. Good block by Pranty. He cuts to the left side, goes around the left, finally wrapped up and dropped, but he's going to be awful close to another Bulldog 1st down. And it is going to be a Bulldog 1st down. 1st and goal, Bulldogs from about the 4-yard line. So we'll call it 1st and goal from the 4. And you got Sentman and McKittrick on the same side. That's a lot of speed on one side of the field. And I think your give here is to Pranty up the middle. What do you think on the draw?
Yeah, I agree. You got to give the ball to Pranty in here.
No, it's going to be a Jun draw, but it almost looked like he ran right into a tackle instead of popping that on the outside. So on the quarterback keeper, I'm going to say maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
And second down, and you
Might
really
even lost a yard. What do you think on that spot about second and goal from the 5? You got to give your back a chance here, I think. I think you give it to Pranty on the quick give. He gets it over the right side.
And he gets in. There he is, sliding through the hole on the right side, almost untouched. Pranty just slithers through about a 4-yard run for the touchdown.
And we're all tied up at 19 here with 6:54 left. Let's not count this extra point. They've already blocked one.
It's going to be
19-19.
Good test for Karchenko. A little bit of pressure here with this one.
Let's see what happens. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is up and good. And you got to give Karchenko a lot of credit. He shortened up that stride and then just got under the ball more. Did a great job. Bulldogs lead 2019 on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. 6:54 left. Bulldogs take their first lead. We'll be back in 1 minute. And welcome back to live football action. We've got a heck of a football game here. Bulldogs take their first lead of the ball game, 20-19, 6:54 left. And once again, the defense is the one that shined. The offense has finally come to play, but the defense has been there all day long.
Can they do it for another? Can they do it for another drive? Because it's been almost all day they've been getting stops.
It would be fitting if they were the ones that got to put it away with like a pick to the house, and it's a good kick. Gets just in front of the goal line. He's going to take it across the right side. Good coverage. Finally popped and dropped.
And a great kick.
Was it number 40 on the tackle?
And you can see, I think it looks like 41. He's coming to the sideline, and big old wad of grass and mud in the top of his helmet. His coach has to take it out and throw it on the ground for him.
Sean Cooney, the white-shoed wonder.
Yeah, we just saw him cleaning off the white shoes. Not a good day to have white shoes, but a good day to make tackles for him.
You got to love it when every facet of the game or of your team is making plays.
Not a great snap.
On it. And Pike gets wrapped up and dropped.
And this Montana Western sideline and crowd right now are just electric, on their feet. Everybody's got a cowbell, and not a great start there for Montana Tech's offensive drive.
We'll call it in 2nd and 9, but it's probably closer to 10. From about the 19-yard line for Tech. They have 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Tight ends lined up the left side of the formation. And it's going to be Tanner Kump as the running back, or as the quarterback. He drops back the pass, and he gets hit.
Denzel Moa.
Denzel Moa comes up with the pick. He gets popped, and then Moa gets it as it flails in the air. And somehow Kump had the way to grab him by the shoelace.
Wow. So Moa and Wyatt both, it looks like the offensive line all cut block, and they got over the blocks, came around, and as he was throwing, Laxo hits him. Ball goes in the air. Moa's right there to catch it and get tackled.
So Lasko is going to probably get the credit for the sack on that. Moa gets credit for the pick. And the Bulldogs are back in business as the defense has really turned this game around for Montana Western. They're going to put 2 to the right, 1 to the left, tight ends on the left side of the formation. And You got your lone setback is Pranty. And they're going to put Simpkins in motion, and they give it to Pranty on the right side. Takes a couple licks, but keeps those legs churning. He's across the 10 to probably about the 8-yard line. So it's going to be first and goal from the 8. So we'll see, maybe got a yard. So it was about the 9.5, yard and a half, we'll say. So first and goal from the 8, or second and goal from the 8.
Really want to try to milk this clock for as much as you can.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Pranty is lone setback. John looking to pass it across the middle into traffic because he was looking for Nate Simpkins in back in the end zone, but he was double teamed. And so it'll bring up a 3rd and 8 as the clock stops. I think you got to kick the field goal, though, unfortunately.
Take care of the ball. I think hand it off, let the time tick for a little bit, and lick your wounds. Take that take those 3 points.
If you don't come up with the 3rd and 8 here, like I said, I mean, I think you kick it because it's going to be tough to get the footing. So you're going to want a less than 25-yard, really, field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Trips to the left. Lone setback is Pranty. And it looks like there's going to be a timeout by somebody. And it's going to be Montana Tech calls a timeout. 5:28 left in the ballgame in the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. Bulldogs lead 20-19. We'll be back in 1 minute. Takes the snap, drops back the pass, looks, shuffling, hits Pranty into the end zone.
And he's in.
Touchdown, Bulldogs! That was a well-designed play. In fact, it's been a while since we've really seen a back out of the backfield catch a football, which I think you were saying last time we had the home game. We should do a little bit more of the bubble screen and get them involved, and that's a perfect example of how that works. Bulldogs now take a 26-19 lead. And if they can get the extra point here, we'll be in business. They'll have to score and get a 2-point conversion.
John Jund looking excited on the sideline here, getting dapped up from all his teammates, and you like to see that.
So 26-19. I think it's a TV timeout, so we'll take one, too. 5:21 left, 26-19. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Coach rolling the dice as he's sending the 2-point conversion team back out there. Seeing if he can put up the 2 points. It'd be a big deal if they could get this done. Make it a 2-score game. You're going to run 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Tight end on the right side of the formation. Pranty on the left side of John. He drops back the pass. And he's going to go to Meserly. Gets knocked out of bounds. Incomplete. And so with 5:21 left, Bulldogs lead 26-19. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Derrick Wayne.
Karchenko to kick. Got ourselves a good football game here. 5:21 left, plenty of time for Tech. Both teams with the timeout apiece. 7 points separates them. Bulldogs took their first lead here in the fourth quarter and now extended it. 5:21 is a lot of time. And they haven't really been able to connect really deep, though.
No, and think about this. This defense is going to be waiting for the pass, too, so that makes it even more difficult.
Takes it at about the 2-yard line, goes over to the right side. It's Dion Williams, and he finally gets knocked down. Finally cleaned up by, I believe it was number 2. Is that Ritzko, right? Yeah, Carson Ritzko, which we've seen a lot more of him last time than we did so far on this defensive.
Yeah, great athlete, and didn't even get to play his senior year. He pretty much got recruited off junior year statistics and the way that he played then, and he's here to prove that he can play.
He is a baller. It all comes down to this. 5:14 left. Tech trails by 7. And quarterback Hopman takes it. No, it was Jet Robertson. Jet Robertson, who doesn't get stats.
And you could see he dropped back and slipped on that back foot. And it's slick out there right out in the middle of the field.
Still able to get 5 yards, so it's going to be a 2nd and 5 for Montana Tech. And bad snap, and then he gives it off to Fike, who's dropped. Probably lost a yard maybe on that play.
And
it's kind of a cleanup thing. Here, you take it. Jed Fike is a good player, good person to have on your team.
Hard worker. You could see by the size of his arms that he stays in the weight room.
He finds a way to the weight room. Big third and 6 here. I mean, you still got to kick it, I think, if you don't get it. And it's knocked away at the line of scrimmage. And the Big Uglies has done a fine job on that, on the defensive line. The offensive line really has come to play as well, but the defensive line has really got a good push, kept those linebackers free, got a good push in making them throw. They've gotten their arms up, and they're going to have to kick it away. And this offense really could do the defense a huge favor and keep the ball for a little while and really seal the deal if they can keep the ball and put it in the end zone.
Yeah, get 2-3 first downs and take some time off the clock. It's really going to help this defense.
Mounts and Christian back, gets the punt away, and it's a short one. And it looks like it's still going to get to the 30, though. So the Bulldogs will take over from their own 30. They lead 26-19. We'll be back in 30 seconds. On the right side other than the tight end. Takes the snap, gives to Pranty over the left side. Good ball secured. They wrap him up and drop him. He's first met by Jacob Clark, and I think Wines was there to help finish him off.
Jacob Clark coming off a big day at Northern, too. He was the tackle leader there, and he's been in on a lot of plays today.
So it looks like they're going to go trips to the right, tight end to the right side of the formation. One setback is Pranty. No, I'm sorry, fullbacks to the left side of the formation. You almost want to give it to Tamil so he can just get a little love on that miss. He was so hard on himself. John's going to keep it and maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. And now you got a big third down. And, you definitely want to use clock, but always tough. They ran to the strong side of the formation, though, with the tight end. So
Looks like Ginny's going to come in for Tamil.
And it's going to be a 3rd and 9.5 from their own 30. 250, 249 and counting. And John does a good job of letting this clock tick away. He wants to get it down to about 6 seconds before he snaps, maybe 5. And he's going to snap it with about 4 seconds. And they bring the heat, and it's almost picked off. It gets knocked away and then almost gets picked off. But it's going to be incomplete. So with 2:30 left on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard, we're going to punt it away, and they could have pretty decent field position after this punt.
And it's not over yet. There's a lot of time. This offense could spark, and
they got 1 timeout in 2 minutes 30 seconds. Would have liked that a little better offensive set there, of course. But they're going for a little bit of the stress factor here, I think. That's a good snap. It's a good kick. Kind of a low. Oh, it gets away from him.
Good bounce.
All the way down to about the 9. And he has nowhere to go and gets wrapped up and dropped back at the 10. Things continue to go the Bulldogs' way here in the 4th quarter.
The last 2 possessions have been pinned Montana Tech deep, and that's not even the defense's fault. They're doing their best, Montana Tech defense, but just keeps the luck is in Montana Western's favor.
So they have to go 90 yards in 2 minutes and 18 seconds with 1 timeout just to tie it. Things look bright in Bulldog land. This defense has been playing hard all game long. The only drawback, so to speak, is we've been on the field an awful lot. And it's not like they're short of playmakers either.
No.
And so he's going to keep it up the middle. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped. I think it's Hopman in this time. It almost looked like a fumble, but more ground caused than anything.
All those defensive players that play through the whistle anytime you see, if you watch football, and that ball goes out, you're going to pick it up and run with it just in case.
And so it's going to be 2nd and 3. We'll call it 2nd and 3 from about the 16, 17-yard line. And he throws an out, but it's way off. And so it's going to be a 3rd and 3. I guess you kind of got to go for it on 4th. I mean, with only 1 timeout, you got to do it. I mean, you got 2 downs to get 4 yards.
Now Dion Williams in the game. He's been making plays all day. You expect to see them try to probably get to him or give it to Fike.
Throw a screen to Fike. That seems to be a decent play for them. Cole Hopman in when times matter, so we'll see how that goes. And he drops back, and it's picked off! And that's going to do it!
Riley Martello read it like a book.
Stapling himself as probably the Dairy Queen defensive player of the game with the pick to the house. That should seal the deal for Montana Western on the Riley Martello pick to the house. That makes it 32-19. They'll set up for the point after touchdown. But he read that perfectly. Just dropped back, came right in front of him, and the quarterback Hopman showed his hand the whole time.
Yeah, that's players that are experienced on the defensive end. They've been watching film all week. He was waiting for that play, stepped right in, took the ball.
And you couldn't ask for a more fitting gentleman to step in front of that. Worked his way back from 2 sets of injuries. Started here as a senior, as a team captain, and has done a great job. And they blocked another point after. And if we haven't learned anything, we learned that we got to tackle this guy.
And is he going to take another one? We got the.
And he's going to cut back again.
Back. He's at the 30, and he gets tackled.
Finally by the number 14.
Looks like, is that Miller?
Sean Miller, the holder. And Miller did a great job. He just dropped all the way back. They almost took another one back. Another block.
And just when you thought they figured out the blocks, Montana Tech, they're always going to be making a play. And you love to see a team like that no matter score, where they're at, down, up, they're going to be fighting hard.
They blocked another point after. I mean, you don't see that ever.
No.
Return, and they almost had 2 in the same game.
And they had another return. Almost, that would have been 3 pick-up block returns.
Their defense is fast, and they've fought and played the whole game. Karchenko's got beat up. He's actually dirtier than most of the white Montana Tech players.
I think Karchenko's going to be hitting the tackling bags this week, ready for those returns.
I think he's going to hit the hot tub, that's for sure, or the cold one, whichever. Poor gentleman has still done his job, but they need to block him up a little bit better. Said 2 extra points blocked, field goal blocked. We have 1:37 left in this ball game. Bulldogs lead 32-19. What a tale of two halves. It's actually 3 quarters go to Tech. And then once again, this Bulldog team in the 4th quarter just finds a way to get some things done.
Yeah, this team, a lot of grit. Twice in a row, they've been down going into the 4th, and
this is a 22 versus 20.
And you can see why these 2 teams are ranked in the top 25. Both very solidly coached, and the defenses, it's just, can't say enough about them.
And it gets all the way back, and there's just nowhere down there to really get footing, it seems like, as Tyler Vendetti brings it up, and it seems like there's no footing on this side of the field.
If you've ever tried to...
when you look down here, it's dry.
Yeah, they've been on one half of the field here for pretty much the whole 4th quarter, and I don't know if you've ever tried to sprint or stop on mud, and that's about what it looks like.
Wow. If you're looking from our perspective, you can see it even better probably than the guys on the field. The left side from where we're at, which would be left to right on your dial, is just in tatters. And the right side actually looks like it has some traction. And they're going to drop back the pass, and he's going to throw it to the out. And he does make the catch, I believe. I'm not sure he got out of bounds as the clock still ticks away. As they're going with Jet Campbell as the quarterback. Campbell takes the snap, rolls out to the right, and avoids the tackle, is going to rotate to the left, trying to get out of bounds. I'm not sure if he did yet. And finally gets just smoked at the end there, out of bounds.
Jason Ferris comes up from the linebacker position, just holds him up and tries to rip the ball out, and another defensive player comes in and hits him out of bounds.
Puts the smack down. And they said he stayed in bounds, so forward progress, the clock still ticks away. And it looks like they're just playing for pride at this point. And he tries to throw it across the middle to, I think, was that Hoffman again?
Number 18, it is Hoffman.
It's good to see, though, because he looked like he was in a little bit of pain earlier in the game as he hopped his way off, but looks like he's going to be okay. So it's going to be a 4th and 2 with 36 seconds left. So the 4th and 2, they're going to go 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And they're going to give it to Fike, who's going to get the first down, but whoopity-doo, Basil.
The all-reliable Jed Fike.
And they're probably going to have 2 plays left at this rate. Trips to the right. And the University of Montana Western is going to come out of here with the win. And it looks like that might even be picked off, as it was 2 Western guys playing over themselves. I do have to remember that Kieran Allen also has had quite a ball game.
Yeah, he's
But I
been
mean, Martella's going to be
passes.
double digits in tackles, a sack, a pick to the house.
Yeah, he's done a great job of containing this running back. Fike really has not been able to get outside his only long run up the middle.
And then fumbled on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be 2nd and 10, 14 seconds left on the Intermountain Irrigation scoreboard. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty on Montana Tech. Oh, no, they're going to call it on Western. So one of the few bad things. Carroll College comes here next week to play here at the Vidge. It'd be a good opportunity to play Carroll, and then Northern and then go on the road to play Rocky. We finish up with two really tough teams in the last three. College of Idaho, I think, is still winless, though. And then he's going to go down to a sack. 74 is going to get the credit on that one.
I think that's Musso.
And so Montana Western comes up with the victory, 32-19. We'll take a brief timeout and get you right back to Papa T's postgame show. Western with the 32-19 victory over Montana Tech. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
We are cooking things up bright and early, 5 a.m. to be exact, here at the Mini.
That's what it said. .22 versus 20. Montana Tech was number 20 in the country, Western 22, and they come up with a 32-19 victory. And welcome to the Papa T's postgame show. Papa T's all Montana beef. So really was the tale of not just two halves, but a tale of 3 quarters and a fourth quarter.
Yeah, no kidding. A defensive game, to say the least. You know, these offenses had a tough time moving the ball, but big plays on both ends. And fun game to watch.
A lot of turnovers early. The Montana Western offense was pretty sloppy. They had a couple of picks, 3 picks, couple of fumbles. They had a blocked extra point return for 2 points the other way. They had a blocked field goal. I mean, so everything seemed to be going the wrong way. And then they just really started turning it around. This one's going to be hard for me at the way. I'm going to have to ponder already my Dairy Queen offensive player of the game. But for the stats, Montana Tech, with their 19 points, had 15 first downs. They rushed the ball 34 times for 169 yards, just threw for 94 yards. That was on 17 to 38 with 2 picks. They had a total offense of just 263 yards. They had a fumble for a negative 28, a fumble return for a negative 28. Not sure on that one. But a punt return, 5 for 105, 6 kick returns for 109, 3 picks for 25 yards. They had 9 punts for an average of 38.1. They had 2 fumbles, lost 1. They had 8 penalties for 80 yards, and they held the time of possession for 17:57, which really Western must have held the football for the whole fourth quarter because it seemed like Tech always had the football. For Western, they scored 32 points. They had 21 first downs. They ran the ball 36 times for 104 yards. They passed the ball for 305 yards on 17 of 42. 3 picks, 78 total plays for 409 yards. They had 5 punt returns for 22 yards. They had 4 kickoff returns for 94 yards. They returned 2 punts for 22 yards. Good punting average. They averaged 49.8 on the punts. They punted 6 times. They had 3 fumbles, lost 1 of them. They had 6 penalties for 41 yards, and they possessed the ball 24 minutes, 43 seconds. What do you have for stats for Montana Tech individually?
Montana Tech rushing the ball. Jed Fike kept up with his average, 23 attempts for 143 yards, 46 being his longest. He averages 6.2 a carry. That's video game numbers right there, folks. Cole Hopman had 5 carries for 19 yards. Alec Woolley Steele had 1 for 14. And Jet Campbell had 3 for -1. Passing the ball, Tanner Kump, 14 completions on 25 attempts for 90 yards, threw 1 interception and 1 touchdown. Jet Campbell had 2 completions on 6 attempts for 3 yards, 9 being his longest. Pass receiving, Dion Williams, of course, 6 receptions, 19 yards only. Trevor Hoffman had 2 catches for 21. Sam McCamley had 2 for 15, and Jed Fike also had 2 catches for 4 yards. Nick Nunez has a boot, 38-yard average, 343 punting yards on 9 punts. Punt returning, A.J. Robinson had 1.